Daniel McDonald, Donald McDonald, Darren Ned, Jensen Phillip, and Richard Rogers.
Yeah, as we see, Iman Alexander completes the fifth delivery of the.
And this team boasts of players the like of Shaman Lewis and the informed Teddy Bishop. We expect to be very, very competitive.
Oh yeah, certainly. And as we see, a first over, maiden over there, bowled by Iman Alexander to Anil Matthew. Iman Alexander, native of the parish of St. Andrew, from the village of Moncton, now plying his trade for St. Patrick. So it's a quite intriguing setup. As we see, it looks like Alec Athanase is going to open the bowling. So it's going to be a dose of spin from both ends. Iman Alexander from the northern end and the right arm off spin from Alec Athanase from the bottom end, bowling to Teddy Bishop. St. Andrew batsmen, naturally they like the ball coming onto the wicket, and starting off with spin from both ends certainly are different prospects than what they would prefer.
Yeah, I agree. There's a good move to see that they are starting with spin. Teddy Bishop in particular, I think, is more comfortable against the faster stuff. The attacking player he is, so spin I think is a good approach to start off with spin from both ends. Important game for both parishes. St. Patrick's, having lost last weekend, really would want to turn it around and try to get full points from this encounter.
Yeah, this encounter is almost at the stage of a quarterfinals, as you see Athanase first delivery, flight to delivery on the line of Midland leg, push back to Athanase by Teddy Bishop. Athanase with number 5 on his back, the new entrant into the tournament. And Teddy drives outside, just not too far from the outstretched arms of Marlon Henry in the extra cover position. They go through for a single. Anil Matthew had ideas for a second, but the throw a bit wayward. He's able to get back safely. But certainly the excitement and the interest is quite early in this tournament. Marlon Henry Crony probably just a little touch out of his grasp that he's not able to get a hand onto it.
Yeah, just so he's right. But this is sort of player Teddy Bishop is. He gonna stroke the ball anyway in his arc. And the driving is probably a good shot that he plays very well. So he drove this one upishly just to the right of Marlon Henry at cover.
Yeah, as you see, Anil Matthew, he's off the face strike, comes back and pushes it at Athanase. Dunk back past him, the fielder at that's Devoni Joseph in mid off does the fielding. There is no run, so it's 1 without loss in over number 2. And he drives firmly just to the left of Devoni Joseph. He comes around, fields the ball, but can restrict the fielder batsman from crossing over for a single. So it's at Anil Matthews off the mark. He's on 1. Teddy Bishop is on 1. And Teddy Bishop, he helps that one over the mid-wicket area. Good shot there from the young bats on the 19 batsman from St. Andrews. Athanase is a bit dumbfounded. What did I do wrong with that delivery, he's saying. Teddy Bishop, as we see the replay from this one, just a bit short. He works back and pulls off a mid-wicket. Good shot there from the youngster from St. Andrew. St. Andrew, first boundary on the board. And he drives, this time more outside of the outer portion of the bat, squirts over the fielder there at the backward point position. They cross for 2. So 2 more runs to Bishop, and he's not letting Athanase settle as the St. Andrew, they move to 10 without loss after 2 overs.
Yeah, good over for St. Andrews. Teddy Bishop in his positive style of play, hitting over a wide long one for 6, shortish delivery, and he was able to hit it in front of where would be a long and wide, more mid-wicket over the boundary for 6, and then looking for that big drive, hit over backward point, and he pick up another 2 runs. So he will continue to play his attacking game. This is the sort of player that he is. This spin, the slow bowling probably will create probably a more challenge, but he continues to play as he knows.
Yeah, those runs so far, he's on 9, pushes his tally to 119 runs in the tournament, which puts him back on top of in terms of the leading run score on the tournament. Johan Jeremiah, he topped the list leading into today. He was 114. Teddy Bishop 110. So Teddy Bishop is now 119 runs, the leading run scorer in the tournament, and he is certainly an exciting batsman to watch. And currently also the likes of young Akim Ogis, a wonderful prospect from the island of St. Lucia in the St. Andrews lineup, is also an exciting talent, and we all await his entrance into this tournament.
Yeah, these two players certainly would take the lead in terms of the batting, and would hope that they're going to get off. Bishop continues to be attacking. We know he got I think 79 against the first game that he played. He didn't score in the last game, I think, that he played, but they will hope that he will really settle down and sort of build some form of inning against St. Patrick's, who boast of the likes of Devon Smith back in the lineup. So they do have quite a great deal of batting in the lineup.
Oh yes, strengthened batting lineup. There you have the likes of Wavell Benjamin, Dennis Smith, Devonnie Joseph. So it's a quite strong batting lineup from St. Andrew. So St. Andrew would really need to put a 140, minimum 150 on the board to see if they can help challenge. And it's a bit of blunder in the field there between Kieran Charles and Dennis George. And the ball goes through the two fielders there. I think they were waiting for the other fielder to field it. He just bisected two of them, and Wavell Benjamin from mid-out had to run around to collect it, but the batsman were able to cross over for 2. So Anil Matthew, he moves on to 3, and St. Andrew 12 for without loss in over number 3.
Yeah, very quiet start by St. Andrews, pushing the ball around.
Short ball and dispatched by Anil Matthew as he rocks back. Will it cross the ropes? It just beats the 38 years legs of Dennis George into the boundary. So a short delivery from Iman Alexander. The first one he served up for the day. Matthew rocks back, beats the fielder between backward point and the square cover for 4. So good looking runs to Anil Matthew. He moves to 7, and St. Andrew 16 without loss in over number 3.
Yeah, good short delivery, and he got a treatment he deserved as Matthew came back and hit it down to a square cover for 4.
Drives outside the outstretched hands of Kieran Charles in the short extra cover position. One more run to Matthew. He moves to 8, and St. Andrew after 3 overs 17 without loss.
Yeah, confident start by St. Andrews. I think both batsmen just seem to be getting used to the wicket, getting used to the bowlers. We see some good shot played in that over by Matthew, hitting down to backward point, and even his driving, have been very fluent. We see him push a ball through covers, which was just a bit of a misjudgment by the both fielders who was leaving it for each other. Picked up 2 runs, but he really looked pretty confident as he pushes the ball on the offside in that over.
Yes, Alec Athanaze, former West Indies under 19 batsman. He would have scored 100 in the under 19 World Cup for the West Indies under 19. He's about to bowl his second over, the 4th of the day. To this one, Matthew is forward, plays a short mid-wicket position, where that is Iman Alexander does a fielding, and there is no run. So it's certainly a wide variety of talents and experience available in the middle for these two teams, and in what should be a top-class encounter between two powerhouses.
And Anil Matthew scored a total of 67 runs in 3 games, and he will want to continue and push on. He did bat very long in one of the matches played, but wasn't as fluent as he looks now. He really looks so different.
Yeah, he's one of those, as we said, he loves the ball coming onto the bat. So the slow bowlers, you just have to readjust, realign himself to get the bearings right and his timing right as he turns that one towards the short fine leg position where Fraser Michael Fraser does the fielding, and there is no run. A short bad ball from Alec Athanaze and correctly dispatched over the square leg region. Athanaze, he dragged that one down. Matthew, his eyes lit up, and without a second invitation, he hit that well over mid square leg region. One bounce into the boundary for 4, and certainly a loose shot delivery there from the youngster from St. Patrick.
Yeah, but well played by Matthew. He picked it up very early, and he went back in and pulled it over square leg, which is vacant, confidently down to the boundary for 4.
Yes. So Alec Athanaze from St. Patrick's. He's playing from St. Patrick's. He's from the island of Dominica. He's one of the players with the Wilbur's Volcanoes that was drafted last weekend to represent the various teams in the ongoing NLA GPL T20. Momentarily, we're going to tell you the other players who were drafted and what team they're playing for, as a delivery from Athenes. Short and wide outside the off stump. He can beat. That is Denroy Charles in the square cover region. And the batsmen, they remain. Anil Machi remains on 12, and it's 21 without loss.
We'll be disappointed that he didn't make more use of that short ball outside the off stump. Or just hit it straight to the point fielder.
Yeah, thumb push to Devani Joseph at mid-off, and there is no run. Crony, I think so far one of the things I noticed that there seems to be no urgency to pick up those singles, because I thought even that delivery they should have at least made an attempt to get a single, but he was just sit back and wait, just accepting that it was just a no run of that delivery. As 4 of us completed 21 without loss after 4.
Yeah, confident start by St. Andrews, but yeah, I do agree with you in terms of that positiveness. I look at the ball, even that delivery that played down to mid-off there, but there was no sense of aggression, and they would need to show a little bit more aggression. We know that Teddy Bishop going to be aggressive right through, but just need to show a little more aggression in terms of the running between the wicket.
Yeah, so we want to tell you about the players drafted. Alec Athenes, he went number 1 to St. Patrick's. Number 2 was St. David's. They picked Kieran Kotoy. Number 3, St. John Larry Edward. Number 4, St. Andrew Akim O'Geese. Number 5, Kenneth Demba St. George. And Kimani Milius, he was retained by the parish of St. Mark. As we see a flighted delivery hit down the ground, not timed well by Teddy Bishop, and I think for his in his favor, he didn't time it that well, because he was able to drop well short of the fielder. That is Michael Fraser coming in off the long on boundary.
Yeah, Teddy, they looking for the big drive, not timing properly, and it went in the air, but well short of long on fielder.
The delivery pushed to that same fielder in long on by Anil Matthew, and they cross over for a single. So I think at these early stages, Crony, it's all about getting the strike rotating, picking up those 1s and 2s. We know that the bad balls will come, so you need to capitalize on it, because you can't really get bogged down for too long in this form of cricket, because 20 overs, they can go in a jiffy.
Yeah, picking up the 1s and singles, just put pressure. Even here, they should be looking for a single day as Bishop pushed that one back past the bowler. The fielder had made off, having to move quickly and to dive to stop it. No attempt of trying to get a run there.
A short ball pushed back to the bowler, and Iman Alexander does well off his own bowling. So, Crony, these are the things that tends to happen, is that when you miss an opportunity to get a run, oftentimes the next delivery is a dot ball, or you might out of the next delivery. So I think St. Andrew, they would want to be a bit more aggressive in picking up opportunities for singles in the field.
We're looking for the boundary. Is Bishop there? Not so keen on picking up the singles, but really looking for the boundaries as he went back there, looking to cut this one between backward point and short third man.
Yeah, Devon Smith in the fielder in the short third man position in the backward point is Dennis George, and he uses his feet well, gets over the fielder at mid-on. Oh, Wavell Benjamin, excellent stop with the boot there. So the batsmen, they cross for 2, but I think if we see the replay, it does looks like an excellent job there by Wavell Benjamin, just stabbing the ball right there. And St. Andrew again a bit lackluster in their run, and only 2 runs picked up from that. Yeah,
a good movement by Bishop there as he chipped there and came down and hit it over extra cover. And let's see how far it get to the boundary.
Oh, I think it was touch and go. It was touch and go. If we had another angle, I think at the point of contact with the ball, his foot probably had touched the ropes also. But we are not using those technologies involved, so I think it's 2 runs to St. Andrew and 2 more runs to Teddy Bishop. But again, Crony, they could have gotten more. As we see another replay, the fielder, yes, Crony, that's 4 runs. 4 runs there too. That should have been 4 runs, but the umpire were not in a position to pick that up. But 2 runs saved for 2 short runs for St. Andrew.
It's 25 without loss, 5 overs being bowled. As that looked like Denoy Charles. Denoy Charles going to pick it up from that off spinner, taking it up from that southern end.
Yeah, he's St. Patrick's second leading wicket taker in the tournament. He has 5 wickets from 3 matches. A short ball, serves up a short ball and correctly and rightly dispatched by Anil Matthew. Marlon Henry in the square cover region, he just had about 2 steps to make to his left, but he can't stop that ball from beating him and into the boundary. Certainly not the stat Denroy Charles would want in this innings.
A lovely shot by Matthew. It was short, but even though it's short and a bad delivery, he had to put it away. He hit it well, firmly past that cover point position, and it raced across the surface for 4. Good, another good confident shot by Matthew.
Yeah, and Kearney, third bowler in, another spinner. Not surprised at all.
Not a cover fielder is pushed right back to the boundary.
Oh, and he uses the long handle, hits that one well at 6 runs. Very good shot there from Anil Matthew. He saw the ball tossed up, he opened up his stance, hit over mid-off, who was in mid-off, who was inside of the circle, fall just about 5 yards beyond the ropes. Very good shot for Anil Matthew. As we see the replay, he really lashed onto that one. 6 runs to Anil Matthew, 6 more to St. Andrew, and it's 35 without loss in over number 6.
Yeah, good shot. Use his feet slightly and hit it over long off confidently for another 6.
Another delivery shot. This time he can't beat them. That is Dennis George in the backward point position. He would be, Anil Matthew will be ruining an opportunity for picking up more runs. Yes, you have cover on the boundary, but I think if that beat Dennis George, it would have been a challenge for Marlon Henry on the deep cover boundary. As we see another delivery pushed to as Devon Smith, and Devon Smith certainly so far has found himself in almost all of the attacking positions in front of the in the inner circle. Oh my goodness, that one was an invitation from Anil Matthew, which he gleefully accepts it, and a bigger hit this time. It was tossed up, it hung in the air for a long time. Anil Matthew, using his long reach, was able to get to hit and hit it cleanly back over the head of the bowler for 6. Certainly an encouraging start for St. Andrews, 41 without loss in over number 6.
Yeah, lovely shots. Safe shot, you know, he hit it straight back over the bowler head, and it had cleared the boundary and went for 6. Another good and confident shot. And really, he's really playing well, choosing the ball to hit and hitting it well.
This time he comes forward and plays it softly on the onside. Dennis George, he has to run in to do the fielding, but certainly on this occasion, sensible batting there from Anil Matthew, picking up a single. He moves to 30 of 27, and after the end of the power play, St. Andrew, 42 without loss.
Yeah, good start by St. Andrews. First over by Charles. 17 runs was scored in that over, which included 2 sixes. Really has been a good over, and they are beginning to really settle in, having the advantage of the spinners that is bowling now. And St. Patrick will now have to probably redirect their thought in terms of direction. We saw Alexander, he had bowled 3 overs for 11 runs. Charles, 1 over for 17 runs. A good start by St. Andrews.
Yeah, very good start. At the end of the power play, you get 42 runs without a wicket on the board. It certainly laid a good foundation for things to come. As you see, Imon Alexander, he's going to bowl his 4th over. He's been bowling well, 3 overs, 1 mid none for 11. But St. Andrew, they will be quite happily accept that position at the moment. 32 without loss. 3 4s and 3 6s inside of the 6 over. Certainly a good start from the men from the Big Parish.
Yeah, very good start, and both batsmen looking fairly comfortably as they would want to press on to make sure that St. Andrews have the sort of score that are really going to challenge St. Patrick's.
To this delivery, Alex Matthews off the back foot works it there to the fielder there at the short mid-wicket position, and there is no run. This one tickles off the legs. Badly lined delivery there from Alexander. That's Marlon Henry. He has to do the chasing down towards the fine leg region to retrieve the ball. 2 more runs. And Crony, St. Andrew versus St. Patrick's. Today, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, it's always a big battle in national cricket.
Always been competitive. St. Andrew, St. Patrick's, close proximity. And, you know, they would always compete really hard against each other.
As a short delivery, Matthew comes inside of it and pulls behind square for 4. Anil Matthew on the go. Anything short, he's making the bowler pay for the errant bowling. Short delivery from Imon Alexander. Rocks back Matthew, beats the fielder down there on the sweeper position, and 4 more good looking runs to match you as the score moves to 48 without loss.
Yes, sensible batting. Just short of a link, and he hit it behind square. The fielder at mid-wicket had no chance, as it went down to the that backward square fence for 4. Really good batting by Matthew.
Yes, and I think the thing with St. Patrick's is that they depend so much on the slow bowling, and you still have the likes of Dennis George, who I think will take up the action quite quickly, very soon, because he's one that tends to bowl a lot in the power play, in the death overs, and they really need to find a breakthrough and get an entry into the batting order for St. Andrew, because at the moment 49 without loss in over number 7, just about 7 runs and over. They're looking quite comfortable out there. Yeah,
Matthew looks really well. Really been playing the spinners very well. None of the spinners is creating any problem. And the way he's going, he really seemed to be in good stead.
Teddy Bishop goes caught behind a delivery which was short and probably went on with the arm, looking to make some room to carve it between point and the extra cover position. Gets a faint edge, and well taken there by Dennis Smith. Teddy Bishop goes for 12, and a disappointing end to the youngster from St. Andrew. As we see the replay, short delivery, went straight on with the arm, gets the edge, he goes for 12. St. Andrew 49 for 1 after 7 overs.
Yeah, delivery too close to him, and it wasn't all that short. He looking to make room to cut it down to backward point, and it just came off the edge, and Smith taking a very good catch. As we look at it again, really close to him and moving away slightly, and Teddy looking to cut and taking the edge, and Smith accepting that catch. So Teddy Bishop once again just going for just 12 runs, and St. Patrick's will be happy to pick up their first wicket at the score 49 for 1 in 7 overs.
Yes, and it's the end of Teddy Bishop. That brings to the wicket the under-19 talent prospect from St. Lucia, Akim Ogis. He's here with the Windwards Volcanoes doing some work in preparation for the 4-day tournament. He's also one of the prospects that would be hoping to be selected for the West Indies under-19 team for the next under-19 World Cup. So this is an opportunity for him to play some cricket, get some cricket under his belt, and I'm sure he's relishing the opportunity to be involved in the NLA GPL T20, representing the parish of St. Andrew, and it's certainly now a good opportunity for him to come in and express himself and showcase his talent.
Yes, I think those players will be very happy to be playing cricket in some part of the Windwards. Actually, we are privileged, Kerry, here to be able to have cricket, and I think those guys would be excited to play, and this is an opportunity for him. There's a lot There's a lot there for him. He would take this opportunity with both hands, and it will be interesting to see him, but I think he will relish the opportunity.
Yes, as we see that one from Matthew Tunn behind the square. The field at the 45 does the fielding, and as there is no run. So after the start of this, still 49 for 1, Matthew is on 37. And yet to score is Akim Ogis. Denroy Charles, he has 5 wickets in the tournament so far. Looking to add to that total today. He is he's one of the leading run scorers in the tournament. He's actually the 5th leading wicket taker for the tournament. So he will be looking to add to his tally of wickets to go up the charts. The leading wicket taker, his teammate Dennis George, who has had 3 from 8. And we welcome Pastor Stevenson Warm to the comments booth. Good day, Pastor Warm, and welcome.
A little belatedly, though.
Yeah, as we see this one from Ogis, the left-handed Ogis guides that behind point, where Dennis George does the fielding. So Pastor Warm, as I was asking Crony earlier on, St. Andrews versus St. Patrick's, it is where those two parishes has created a bulk of our national players in years gone by, and it's always a top-class matchup when these two meets. And Ogis is bowled. A short delivery looks to go inside of the line to pull behind square. Looks like he was rushed a bit, and his stumps, as we see the leg and the middle stumps, they're displaced, and a disappointing end to the youngster.
Yeah, absolutely playing across the line, and maybe the ball came on a little faster than expected, and I was just looking to hit that behind square. Didn't make contact, goes back disconsolately. So, well, it's now 50 for 2, and he would have himself to be blamed there. It's one of those delivery maybe that he could have played straight rather than trying to play across the line of the ball.
Yeah, as we see the new batsman, Donald McDonald. Donald McDonald, he is very an aggressive batsman. He came in last game in a position where St Andrews they lost a couple quick wickets as similar as to this one, and he really went after the bowling of St George. He ended up with 37. He so far has 65 runs in the tournament from 3 matches, and will be hoping that he can add on to that. But that's going to be it for me from this stint, as you'll hear more from Pastor Stevenson Wam, and he will have a special guest who he will introduce to you.
Our special guest is Kevin Stout, of course, the player recruited by the West Indies board to be with the Volcanoes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
There's an appeal for leg before, and outside the umpire, vociferous appeal as the bowler went down Charles, that is screaming. And the umpire remained as solid, as constant as the Northern Star, said not out. But it is much in contrast to earlier this morning when it was bright. It's a little dull, it's a bit grey, overcast conditions. Well bowled, pushed up on the offside. So the run rate is good, 6.25, 50 for 2. Not a bad start, but they've lost a couple of wickets.
Yeah, it's a very decent start by the batting side. I think if the guy who opened the batting, that's Matthew, batting really well, striking the ball nicely. I think if he can bat deep into the innings, he will allow his team to have a very good total.
Good bowling by Imran Alexander. 4 for 18, picked up 1. That's good returns.
Yeah, that's fantastic bowling. I mean, in T20 cricket, anyone who can bowl four overs for 18 runs, that's fantastic. So I'm sure the captain will be happy with his effort.
Well, with just backing up a bit, the West Indies against Sri Lanka. First partnership for the first wicket, 192. You would have thought the West Indies would cruise home or cruise to a victory much easier than they turned out to have done it.
Well, you know, obviously that's a sport called cricket for you, because 1 minute you're on top and everything seems to be going very smooth, and then next thing you know, there's a landslide and then the pressure is back on. So who kept their nerve the best? Well, obviously win the game, and West Indies, they do that. Well played to Nicholas Puran at the end as well too.
Yes, just thought that Pradeep maybe was a little bit too full and wide outside the off stump, a couple of wides, and a couple of good drives by Puran through the offside. Thought he should have remembered that he was bowling to a left-hander that tends to be able to hit those deliveries square of the wicket on the offside much better than the conventional right-hander. So, it's from the northern Ondabo end, Kieron Charles brought into the attack. Oh, good first up delivery, just turned it out on the onside.
Yeah, that's a very good delivery. That's got to keep building the pressure.
A lot will depend on Anil Matthew here. He's gotten off to a good start, 38.
Striking the ball really well.
He certainly has.
I've been watching his innings, and the way how he paced it and striking the ball over the top, seems to be a batsman in control.
Yes, you could see the confidence easing. He's not fidgeting. That's one of the things you've got to look and see what's happening with the batsman, whether his body language suggests composure or whether he's fidgeting all over the place.
The strokes just went through the leg side, well behind square leg coming off the boundary. In 2 runs have been completed. Good throw from the fielder at deep square leg into Dennis Smith. Very exciting keeper.
Yes, he has been around, of course, since schoolboy days. Got a couple of hundreds playing in the inter-secondary schools competition. So it wasn't really surprising that he'd gone on to a higher level of cricket.
Well, it's in and he's back and he's playing this one. No run. Keeper comes to do the cleaning up. Pass it back to the bowler. Mr. Smith, I played against him in first class cricket. I think a very energetic player. A very talented wicketkeeper. I think he's one of the better keepers in the Caribbean as well.
He's got good glove work.
Yeah.
And of
fantastic
course,
glove
yes.
work. Fantastic.
Yeah, you saw him, as I said, very early in his career behind the stumps, you knew that there was something special about the kid. And back then, his batting was really good.
I still think it's good now at this point in
Yes.
time.
Might have just tapered off a little bit. I just thought that the returns would be much better. Delivery pushed down to the sweeper position and would get a single.
But the thing about it, he's still a young player, and I guess as he gets older, he will mature and understand more about batting and how to take good care of his wicket and present some good scores for Bengal Islands.
Yes, of course, played for Jamaica. And then Emmanuel Stewart
Yes.
gone behind the wicket for the Volcanoes.
Ball is into ball, and this one he's playing that one to short mid wicket. Mid wicket comes around, field the ball. That seems to be the end of the over.
Yes, so 9 overs gone is 53 for 2.
I think this is a good period of play for the fielding side. Just pulling it back a bit after the start that this side who's batting had with Mr. Matthews, who really capitalized on the power play, striking the ball when the field was in and taking control of the innings. I just think if he can bat, as I said, as deep as possible for his team, they'll be able to post a good total.
A lot would depend upon him, of course, joined by Donald McDonald. Always like the ring of that name, Donald McDonald.
Donald McDonald.
Yeah, it's not very often you find that kind of combination. Sure that the parents may have had a little giggle about it at first.
I just had one myself, actually, because when I heard the name, I was thinking about McDonald's in New York. I was going to have a burger or something like that. What do you think is a good total?
Gosh, I always think that if you get up 20 overs, you get up to 150. Just about 7.5 and over. That's a good working total. Anything after that is going to be challenging.
It's interesting. 150 is always a good total,
Yeah, well,
especially in the Caribbean.
well, fair enough. But anything after that, you get 170.
This is
And there's an
cracking.
appeal for cut behind. Not out, says the umpire. Well, there had to be something there. The umpire said no, it's not out. There is
my.
absolutely nothing that could be done about that. There's no review system here. But they all went up in thunderous appeal. In fact, the 4 close-in fieldsmen, extra cover, mid-on, the bowler and the keeper themselves all went up. And there was some element of celebration too. The umpire said no.
That appeal was very, very convincing. So this umpire must be a very strong umpire then to say not him. The ball is in. The ball is strokes this one to Lawan. They're off a single. Fielder comes in and returns it into the bowler right about now, and the bowler stopped it and back to his mark. I must say though, his streaming is very nice, fantastic.
Well, I think it's one of the best we've got in the region.
Yeah, it's quality. Actually, it's the first time I've watched live streaming outside of ESPN, and I'm seeing replays.
Yes.
So that's a very, very good thing, and I must commend the.
Yes, and of course there'll be more features. Should be having a stump mic a little later on in the competition.
Oh, stump mics are naughty.
Yeah.
I think stump mics are very naughty. Because it gets you up and close and personal to what's going on.
I know.
So sometimes you might hear some stuff, you
That you
can't
should
repeat
really-
as well. Yeah.
Keeps a lot of players in check.
That too.
Got to be
That too.
selective as to what you say.
But some guys forget as well.
I know.
Something called a slip of the tongue.
Bang down to the sweeper position. Gets a single. So Matthews, of course, who comes in to strike, he's 43. He'll be looking for a landmark here, Kevin. He'll be looking for a 50 mark. He's 43.
Yeah. As I said, he's been batting really well. I'm really impressed with the way how he stroked the ball. If he can go on to get a big score, say 80, 90 runs, will be fantastic for his team.
Yeah, we're talking about what a good total is. Well, 10 overs gone, so we're at the halfway stage. They're 56. Now, if you double that, my math tells me that you're going to get 112. But obviously, the last 10 overs.
Yeah, the intent is different for the last 10
Yes.
overs. So some guys we look at 8 runs or over coming down to the end, 8, 10 runs or over. So 140, 135, 140 could be a workable total. 150, best case scenario.
Yeah, but a lot of these 2020 teams got to realize that the game is getting bigger. Players are getting more exciting. The bats are heavy. And the 140s and 130s, they've got to begin to think now about getting more runs.
But I think the most important thing for each team to remember is the importance of batting all 20 of the overs. Because I see a lot of games that teams get bowled over the full 20 overs being bowled, and you're stealing 12 to 14 runs from off your total when you're getting bowled up for 18 and 19 overs. So the team who bats all the overs and keep the intent throughout the innings, especially turning up the heat come down to the end, will always post a fantastic total.
Agreed.
And
The intent was that one was to hit that over. Was looking to hit that over squarish cover. The ball peeled off the outside edge and went down to the third man area. Just a couple of bounces before he got to the third man fielder.
I must say I like the bowling of Mr. Charles. He's nibbling it around, varying his pace. Some slower balls, back pitching the ball, and he's into ball again. The batsman is crossed, and he's cut to this one to point. That looks like Mr. Anthony is at point. One of the better fielders in the Windward Islands team. It's always a big argument between him and Mr. Kotoy, who's the best point fielder. But I won't go any deeper into that. But two good fielders from the Windward Islands side.
But I think if you're thinking about overall, that was hit hard. The bowler did put his hand up, but it was coming back at knots per hour. It has to be one of those reflex things to put your hand up there and maybe sometimes just pop it up and go after it on the rebound. But that was traveling very quickly.
I think Mr. Charles was just happy to get one from that one and prevent an injury. As Mr. Charles is back at the top of his mark, he's into bowl. Nice slow run up, and he's bowling this one back in the pitch. And I think Mr. Charles has the right idea on bowling on this pitch because he's not too full and he's not too short. He's found the perfect length and is being able to contain the batsmen and let them score the way how he wants them to score.
So 11 overs gone, 59 for 2. 59 for 2, and Charles, as you were just alluding to, 2 overs, 6 runs. So he's been very economical. Whatever game you're playing and you've gone for just 6 in 2, well, you must say that it's above normal, above average. Very good bowling performance.
That's fantastic. That's any captain's dream. A bowler to come in the middle overs to bowl 2 overs for 6 runs. That's like a pot of gold.
Sure,
At
right.
the end of the rainbow.
Well, Kevin, it's nice to have you guys playing, several players, in fact, in the 2020 tournament. How well is this, and how would it help your folk in terms of preparing and keeping sharp and keeping your focus on the game?
And he's back, and he pulls it. Well, he missed it actually. It seems to be like a bit very close to the stump. Let's see if there's going to be any replay. Well, unfortunately, I won't be able to take part in the competition. I have picked up an injury playing against Jamaica, a shoulder injury, and I'm still recovering from that. Played through the tournament with a niggle in his shoulder, and I just thought that, it's disappointing because I was really looking to play, but I just think that the bigger picture in hand is to try to prepare myself for the 4-day competition which is coming up. So things have been put in place for the physio, and he's back and he's playing this one back to the bowler. Yes, I was saying things were put in place by the physio for me to start receiving my treatment from next week, so we start that and see how things go.
Dennis George, the veteran from the far end.
Oh, Dennis George, my good mate. He played a bit of cricket in Barbados as well. He played with Carlton Club. Carlton Club is a very one of the well-known cricket grounds in Barbados. We had Desmond Haynes, who played for that club, Dale Richards, and he's back. He's into bowl, and bowler's playing this one back up to the wicket back to the bowler.
Yeah, these clubs, of course. You talk about Pickwick and Empire.
Yeah, Empire is my club.
It's your club.
That's my club.
They have produced outstanding players over the years. Good delivery there by George. He was just coming forward. Looked a little bit beaten in the flight, though. Over comes to an end.
Seems that George is getting some turn in this pitch, actually.
Yes.
You can see the veteran using all his skills.
Guile, they call it.
Guile.
So, 8 overs remaining, 12 overs gone, 59 for 2. And Matthew and Donald, they have a bit of repair work to do here. Matthew looks good and Donald will have to maybe think about rotating the strike. So very important.
My only thing here for Matthews, because two tight overs were bowled. I just hope that he doesn't get frustrated and think that he has to do something and get so. I think if the longer he bats, as I continue to say, the longer he bats, the way how he strikes the ball, he will put his team in a fantastic position at the end of the 20 overs. But there's no need for him to get out at this point in time. If 8 overs to go, what he can do is just leave a big outburst for the last 3 overs, continue to rotate the strike as you were saying, and give himself a good total. This one is rock. He's back and he's pulling this one till long one runs around and feel it. They're looking for 2. I think that is a death wish. Only 1 run. Charles, he's back on it again.
Yeah. So he's bowled well. That one was short and it was pullable. I thought that he made a bit of a meal of that one. He really should have tucked that between the deep mid wicket and the long on. Should have gotten a boundary with that.
Oh, this one he's walking across, but he didn't make good contact with that one. He got that one off the upper part of the bat, and it trickles down to long one for a single.
Yeah, Matthew doesn't seem to be timing the ball as well as he did a little early on in his innings. Probably trying to hit the ball too hard. You find at times when batsmen try to hit it too hard, they don't get the kind of leverage and power.
But I guess as the ball gets older as well too, the batsman is down, chipping and hitting this one back over the ball ahead. The field out long off has come around, did good work. Pick it up and throw back into Charles. The batsman finished 2 runs.
Good use of the feet by McDonald. Just chip down, hit it straight. It was always going to be a safe shot.
It's always straight. It's always safe when you're going straight.
And I thought they were alert enough to realize that the long on off-fielder just bubbled it a little. Saw the opportunity to come back for the second.
That's good awareness by Matthews. Very good awareness. Whereas as we see the captain bringing some changes now. He's brought in his guy off the sweeper boundary up to regulation cover. The bowlers he's into bowl and he's back and he's hitting this one over the cover fielder. This should be 2 runs as a fielder from long off run around, and he made the meal of that one. He misfielded, I guess they crossed. They got back for 2 runs, 2 easy runs.
Yeah, it's a cardinal error of players. You've got to keep your eyes on the ball, allow the ball to come into your grasp first before attempt to throw it.
That's the thing. A lot of players take their eyes off the ball and look at the batters before they field the ball first. Some improvisation, and he tried to walk over to the off stump, but he missed this one. Beats everyone, and he come through for a single.
Just a bye signal by the umpire. So they continue to trudge along here. Nothing exciting really. They've not upped the tempo. We're over number 13. Just a 1 delivery to go into this over. The deep straightish mid wicket is going to be pulled inside the circle. Just at a short, conventional short mid wicket.
Well, Matthews as he settled and Charles is into ball, and Matthews is pulling this one high and hard and feel that deep mid wicket runs round. They collect. There's only 1 run. Nice strong throw from the fielder off the deep mid wicket boundary.
Well, that's interesting because with 1 fielder pulled in, that's when he decided to go over the top, and maybe if he were back, might have made it into a catch. So 13 overs gone, 67 for 2. Matthew, of course, sneaking, getting close to that landmark. He's 47 and McDonald 7. The run rate 5.15. They need to maybe bring this up to about 6, 7.
Well, I guess when Matthews get to his landmark, there's 7 overs left. I guess hopefully he can explode after he gets his 50 and build back up that run rate. That current run rate is 5.15, as you said. If he can get that run rate up to 8, that would do his team a lot of good.
7 runs coming off the last over there, bowled by Charles, and that has been his most expensive over so far. 3 for 13.
Off the back foot and punching that one to the offside. The guy off the super boundary has comes in, pick it up, throw it into Mr. Smith. Smith cleans it up, and back to Dennis George, the experienced campaigner. George His figures are what? 1.1.
Yeah, he's just a 1 run. He's into his second over.
And this one is hit high, hard, and feel that large one. Oh, and he's caught it. Caught it.
The catch. He went so nonchalant about it, and he poached it in the end. He didn't go with hard hands.
No.
Maybe maybe too soft hand, and just bubbled out a little. But had a good frame of mind, kept his composure, and took the catch. So.
Right at the edge of the boundary. The good thing about it, he watched it right into his hand. Even at bubble out, he was able to catch it on the second chance.
So, well, another wicket has gone. St. Andrew now they're 68 for 3 as McDonald just been caught by Charles right on the boundary of the bowling of George. He was looking for the big hit, but wasn't able to clear the boundary.
But that's the experience of George again for you. Continue to apply that pressure, bowl in the areas that are required. He's doing well for his team. I'm sure Mr. Smith should be happy with his returns that he's getting from Dennis George.
Yeah, absolutely. Dennis, of course, spoke to him last week and told me that he's as fit as a fiddle.
He's been training then. He's been doing some running.
Oh, he's got a natural talent about him, Dennis George. And you don't, even on the field, of course, he always loved to field in that backward point area.
Yeah, he was always full of energy.
Yes.
Did Dennis George and you. Always full of energy and always willing and ready to do whatever it takes for the team, for him to put the team in a good position.
The new batsman is Darren Ned, joining Anil Matthew. And Ned will be taking strike. The batsman didn't cross. That's surprising.
Oh,
wrapped up the pattern. Appeal gone. Bowled him, in fact. Bowled him. Oh, that pushed him onto the back foot. It was the faster delivery, and he should have been pushing out really, but he was trapped on the back foot. The ball sneaked through, and the bails are spattered. You could see from here, in fact, that the leg stump and the middle stump, they're interrupted. And Ned has gone without scoring. He's got a golden duck, 68 for 4. And St. Andrew, they're plunged into further trouble.
As I said before, that landslide, it seems to be creeping in now. Good bowling by Dennis George. That was the arm ball. As you said, I think the batsman should be on the front foot to try to stroke that one down the ground, but he was deceived by the skill of Dennis George and was bowled down, trying to force the ball off the back foot. Very good bowling by Dennis George as he continued to pile on the pressure on the batting side.
So Daniel MacDonald has come to join Anil Matthew. And Matthew, in fact, walked down to him. He's still talking to him, if you notice. And what would he be saying there? Here, we've lost a couple of wickets rather quickly. We've got to do a little bit of restorative work here. We've got to redeem ourselves. And might have just admonished him what needs to be done. But he's going to be facing up against an old wily character in Dennis George. Takes his guard.
The thing about this is he has to proceed with caution here at the bottom, because after losing two quick wickets like that, it'd be wise for him to bat at least a couple balls, maybe an over or so, to stay there with Matthews. Bowler George is in and he's forward playing that one back to the bowler. Well bowled by Dennis George.
Yeah, you could see the arm ball. He really pushed it through. Very often it's a good delivery to bowl to a new batsman.
And he's forward and playing this one back to the bowler again. I mean, I think he needs to show a bit of intent forcing this ball, try to drive the ball to long off and get a single.
Yes, and sometimes you can use the angle, but admittedly when you're early in your innings, it's better to play straight.
And he's back and he's pulling this one, he's getting this one to go to backward square, the fielder backward square runs on, collect it, and the throw is aimed to the keeper, and the keeper is appealing for a run out. Not out, says the square leg umpire, and that seems to be the end of Dennis George over. Another good over by Dennis George, getting 2 wickets in it.
Yes, and deservedly 2. So George has picked up 2 for 3 of 2 overs. That's fantastic in whatever format of the game that you're playing. So St. Andrew now 70 for 4. 70 for 4. They've got 6 overs remaining. Now that puts them in a really dicey position. With those 6 overs, they probably would want to get maybe about another 40, 50 runs, and that's a tall order. And if they do get another 50, it will bring them up to about 120, and they might just think that that's a working total.
Well, in order for them to do that, this guy Matthews will have to be there at the end.
You're right. He's been there for quite a while now. He started the innings.
He's a batsman that's set, and he has to set the standard. Charles is into ball, and he's striking this one down to long off runs around fields, and they're only crossed for 1 run. Matthews seems to be showing that he's ready to get on with the business now.
Yes, Williams, give him credit, ran across to his right. About 30, 40 yards. Lesser athletic player might have just gone over the boundary, but he covered the distance very well. Quickly across the turf, restricted the batsman just to 1. And Daniel McDonald now comes in to strike.
Mr.
Good bowling.
Mr. McDonald should have some fries for us. And he's going to, he strokes this one down to long off and gets 1 run. That's the idea now for this stage, especially for Mr. McDonald. Just try to get Matthews back on straight to see what work and what damage Matthews can do coming down to the end. Matthews now on 49, 1 run away from his 50.
Has an opportunity maybe to nurdle one and pick up a landmark.
Oh my God.
Goes over the infield. They've gone for 1. Will they come back for the second? They've got to hurry. The return comes in.
This is good running. This is good running. This is fantastic running by McDonald to get Matthews back on strike. Well played 50 for him.
So the 50 coming up. 57 balls, 53 minutes, 4 fours, 2 sixes. Good statistics there by Matthew.
This is very good stuff by Matthew. I just hope that he just continues to apply the pressure onto Charles, because it seems that he's ready to go big at Charles. He's cutting at this one and he misses. Good clean work by Dennis Smith behind the stumps. A live wire he is.
Yeah, his strike rate up to 87. Of course, you'd want to get up beyond 100 if you're playing 2020 cricket. So he's got to up the tempo now.
Well, he has the perfect platform to do so. And he's in and he's swinging and he's hitting this one. Oh my golly. To long on is 1 run. Seems like Charles is batting with a sound edge. Yeah, all this energy is going in, but it's just trickling out. He needs a proper stick, mate.
Yeah, the good thing though is Matthews, he's tried to hit them as straight as possible. Now that's good. When you're straight like that, very rarely can the long on or the long off fielder take the catch.
It's Charles. He's into ball and McDonald is cross and slugging this one to deep mid-wicket. Feel it. The deep mid-wicket boundary comes off. Feel it. Fantastic throw into the keeper. And Charles, that's a fantastic spell from Mr. Charles. 4 overs for 19 runs. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Well, with 15 overs gone, 76 for 4. Just the 5 overs remaining. I think St. John will be very happy with the stage of the game now. With 15 gone, the run rate just over 5.07. And at this stage of the game, usually the run rate would be up to 6 or 7. It's down to 5. And both bowlers in Charles and Dennis George, they've done very well. They've bowled some 6 overs between them and produced only 22. So that's fantastic going by these two.
That's very good going. Dennis George, 2 overs for 2 runs. 2 overs for 3 runs, sorry. 2 wickets. I must say Dennis George seems to be bowling bombs. Let's see what McDonald can do here. As Dennis George is into both him. And he's swinging at this one and got on the inside edge as the ball trickles out to mid-wicket. Mid-wicket fielder comes around and pick it up back into George. What do you think? What do you think?
Oh, he's been steady, is George. That turned him around. He was looking maybe just to work that out on the onside. The ball might have just taken the leading edge and going just by square on the offside, but he does seem to like to sweep the ball in McDonald. So gone to 5. Matthew comes in to strike. He's 52, 77 for 4. That's the total now. And
This is a matchup I want to see, Matthews and George. Going to ball, Matthews coming forward and stroking this one back to the bowler. No run scored. Ball over hand on head. I'm not too sure. That ball came off the middle of the bat. It's back in. He's into ball to Matthews. Matthews is down the track and oh my golly, he's playing that one not convincingly. I think this is a stage that Matthew has to know about. George isn't that guy to go at. Let's try to rotate him somewhere. At least go run a ball off him and try to take the rest of the other bowlers to come.
but he's still got another over to come. That's the other thing. There's an appeal for leg before. Got him out. Yes, gone. Now the umpire didn't raise the finger in the traditional manner, going right up, but he just barely put his finger up as if to say that's gone. And so Matthew, his innings has come to an end. Leg before to George for 52, and George, his bowling performance now absolutely magnificent. He's into his 3rd. He's now picked up 3 for 4.
Well, that's a ball that's pitching wicket to wicket, racking him on the pads. LBW, I think it was a good decision by the umpire.
So Sherman Lewis comes out, set for battle.
Oh my good mate, Sherman Lewis. You think he's a top order batsman, so I'm looking forward to see what he brings to the table here for his team.
Yes, so he's got experience on his side. There's no question about that.
Yeah, of course. He played a few games for the West Indies, toured to South Africa, did he?
They tour India.
Okay.
It was a horrendous tour for the West Indies, of course, demolished by India. A couple of young players found the going very, very tough.
Okay.
I thought that his bowling has dropped a bit. Is Sherman Lewis used to bowl big way swingers. Not seeing much of that these days.
And Sherman is playing and missing this one from George. I mean, George is in a fantastic spell here.
So 3 overs of Dennis George. Great overs. 3 overs, 1 maiden. He's picked up 3 for 4. And after 16 overs, just 4 remaining. St. Andrew there, 77 for 5.
St. Andrew, I think if St. Andrew want to put up a proper battle, they have to get a score up to 130. Because if you see the likes of Dennis Smith and Alec Anthony's and Devon Smith to come and bat, a score of 90 runs is nothing for those guys.
And the truth is, they just would have to play rather sensible cricket. So whether they're going to get up to this 100 mark is going to be a tall order from here. If we're going sequentially, they're not scoring very well. So it's going to be a challenging task, proposition to get up to that 100 mark.
Well, as you see, the current run rate is continuing to drop. There's no 4.8, 4 overs left. As we see, Alec Anthony is getting ready to bowl his 3rd over. Alec bowled two overs for 14 runs, no wickets. Let's see what he has in store now for us.
It's been 2 good overs, just 7 runs per over. It's not bad, really. But an opportunity here for Daniel McDonald to come good and to play a few attacking shots. Swings that from outside the off stump. There will be challenge to get 2 here. They will in fact get 2. The return comes into the non-strikers end and they get 2. That was taken from outside the off stump. Does like to sweep the ball. There's no question about that.
Well, you can see what is McDonald's plan here, and it seems that he's ready to go all guns blazing. Not giving Ali any time to settle, so he wants to put the pressure from here and keep that intent up for the next 4 overs.
Let's see whether Athanase is going to push it a little further outside the off stump and what would happen then. Not this time.
golly.
Hits that. That's a fine shot. That's going to go all the way. That's 6.
That's 6 runs.
Now that's a beautiful shot. He got right under it and he lifted it. Didn't try to hit it too hard, but there was a lovely sound of willow and leather meeting. And just about 5 inches from the base of the bat, and he lifted that nicely over the deep mid-wicket boundary. Got 6. Fine shot.
That's a song of a good bat.
Sure is. timed it well. Driving out to extra cover. This time the fielder right in the path of the ball.
No run scored.
You know, it was a lovely hit. It really was. You could hear the sound.
The sweet sound of the bat.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the connection is good. There's nothing iffy about it.
Oh, he swings at that one. Missed by this looks like buys. He's coming back two for two buys.
See what they did, in fact, get an on the edge. I have a sneaky feeling that there wasn't on the edge. The umpire did not, in fact, signal. So
You're correct.
he did get an on the edge to that. Went down behind the keeper. You can't fault him at all
For that. This,
for not having gathered.
Anthony is into ball to McDonald. McDonald's cross and McDonald swinging once again, and this one trickles to mid wicket. Mid wicket comes round to the field and looks like Mr. Devon Smith. Old veteran as well.
Yes, Devon Smith, age 39. He's been playing for the Windward Sport.
And McDonald's chip and getting this one off the inside portion of the bat again for picking up one run.
Yeah,
to
see,
make it.
he wasn't. The over comes to an end. The end of the over. So the current run rate has now gone up to 5.18. It's been under 5 during the course of the over. Big hit brought it back. So 17 overs gone. Is 88 for 5. Talking about Devon Smith, of course, one of the, in fact, the leading run scorer in regional first-class cricket, and a number of celebrated names in West Indies cricket, since, of course, regional competitive matches going as far back as 1965. Of course, Demerara and Trinidad and Jamaica played their triangular matches long before that. Go back to 18. Gosh, can't get the correct details now, but they've been playing for quite some time, back in the 1890s. And played at the Garrison in Barbados and the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad. These are old grounds. So McDonald is sort of matched on to 16. Big boundary in the previous over.
It's going to be interesting watching the left-handed bowler to McDonald, because McDonald is looking, oh my god, he called for a single. There's no run. It was a bit of a mix-up.
I just thought, though, that the players played Dennis George with just too much respect. They've been circumspect in playing him, and his returns suggested that that should be called a wide. Yes, confirmed by the umpire. But you've got to be careful. Yes, you give respect to good players, but you've got to let them know that look, you're not here to be tied down.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Cricket is played with a bat and ball, not names. McDonald's swinging at this one. This one goes up, and
the bowler will take the catch. Yes, on his follow through. So Dennis George takes another. He has picked up 4. He's got a 4 far, and they're beginning to really fall apart here. St. Andrew total is now 89 for 6. 89 for 6, and so McDonald goes for 16.
That's very good bowling again by Dennis George. 4 wickets now he has.
Yes, 4 for 5.
4 for 5. That's fantastic figures.
That's a nice poetic ring about it. 4 for 5.
4 for 5. And he still has how many balls left?
Well, he still got another 4 deliveries to go.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Any dibs on 5 wicket haul, 6 wickets?
Interesting. He's still got a chance, really. He's got another 4 deliveries in this over. And by the way he's going, he looks as though he can pick up another one.
Let's wait and see. I'm thinking 2. The way how George is bowling, I'm thinking 2.
So Shaquem Charles, one of the features of the tournament so far, we've got so many Charleses playing in the tournament, albeit must admit that all are not related. Although, of course, so many people say, you know, if you're in this tiny island of Grenada, everybody's related.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, don't think I'm related to Justin Hector at all, though. He's going to be coming up shortly in the commentary position. Justin Hector. He's been in the commentary booth for quite some time now. So, Shaquem Charles will be facing up to Dennis George. Well, he just pulls out of his batting stance.
Yeah, didn't seem to be ready as yet. But we call that in cricket terms, Mr. George, like he wanted to ambush him, but he did the right thing and pull away.
He's a big man, not tall, but he's got massive shoulders.
Seems like he packed a big punch.
Turned up on the
one.
onside and gets a comfortable single. As Devon Smith comes in from mid-wicket, rather fleet-footed. So I'm sure that St. Andrew would not be happy at all with their returns here at all. They've not done a good job.
And Sherman swings and missed this one. This one seems to spun a bit.
Yeah, so he's seeking to hit that across the turn. Now, he's a left-arm orthodox, which means that he's going to bring the ball away from the right-hander. And rather than hitting it with the tide, he's going to go across the line of movement.
Here's George into ball to Lewis, and Lewis swings at this one. He gets this one behind square. Charles run around the square leg boundary that goes into the boundary for 4.
But I just, in fact, quite ironically, talked about him going across the line, but he picked it up well, got to the pitch of it, and lifted it over to the deep mid-wicket position.
Here's George replays against Sherman, is dragging that one from middle stump behind square. Very good shot into the boundary for 4. Muchly needed boundary for his team.
Well, there's all sorts of talks about come
Oh
after
my
that one. Bowl him! Trying to be a little cheeky. There is Lewis, looking maybe just to lap that down to fine leg. Went too far across, too much inside the line.
Naughty.
And so he has picked up a fifer. Dennis George just dismissed Lewis, bowled neck and crop. Almost want to sit behind his leg. Well, he put himself in such an awkward position. So he's picked up another wicket, and St. Andrew, they've gone into the morass of trouble. They're 94 for 7, 18 overs gone. This has been a great bowling performance here by George. 4 overs, 1 maiden. His bowling has come to an end. 4 overs, 1 maiden. He's picked up 5 for 10.
That's fantastic figures. Fantastic. I thought Dennis George showed good consistency, good control, showed his whole spell. That was good on him.
Wow, it's not very often you get a 5 in 2020 cricket. Trust me, if you get it in first class cricket or test match cricket, you feel very happy.
But these are moments that you gotta cherish, huh? Every moment in the game you gotta cherish. A 5-wicket haul in a T20 game, especially in this competition, must be a very good achievement, especially in the way how he did it as well. 4 overs with 10 runs, 5 wickets. Can't ask for anything more than that.
Well, if I were him, I'd just ask for the ball, keep it as part of my memorabilia, and put a mark on it that suggested that he picked up 5. His grandchildren would be pretty happy about that.
We have Anthony getting ready to bowl his 4th over. He's into bowl to Charles. Charles pulled away, looking around the field. Anthony is in. Into bowl to Charles. Charles is coming, stroking this one back to the bowler, no run.
So the new batsman is Kevin Lewis. So one Lewis falls and another Lewis rises.
Here's Anthony into bowl to Charles again. Charles is dancing around the crease and he's trying to drop this one to point. They're off for a single, and this not out, says the umpire. They're appealing for a run out. It's not out. Good diving effort by Lewis.
Well, for a moment I thought that he was in trouble, but maybe the last 5-6 yards, when he felt that he needed to get off his feet, and by that I meant that he went sprawling, diving home, showing commitment. That's what you want to see with players who would want to prize the wicket rather than just ambling through, but put their body at stake, because your wicket is so critical.
Let's see what Lewis has to provide for us today. What, any entertainment? You think he's going to go?
Well, I've got to think about going big, while, of course.
Oh my God. No, wait.
But of course, they don't want to be dismissed. They've got 95 for 7, and being dismissed, I don't think they want that to happen. But on the contrary, they want to get maybe another 10-15 runs here.
And Lewis swings out this one. He's driving this one to long off. Long off is coming off the boundary. Picks up. They're looking for two. Two is not available. Good throw by the fielder down there. He seems to roll over his ankle a bit.
But when you do hit a delivery where a fielder has to cover about 40-50 yards, particularly to his left, when of course he's right-handed naturally, then you want to think about two. You need to put pressure onto the fielder. Run your first run very quickly. That's cardinal. Turned up to mid-wicket.
No run scored.
Let's go. They told us as schoolboys to run the very first run quickly, as quickly as possible. Dart for it. And so if you have to come back, you have a little bit more time to get back for the second. So, over comes to an end. So, 19 overs gone. Last over coming up, 96 for 7. And maybe St. Andrews probably thinking, well, can we get to the 100 mark?
Oh, well, with 1 over to go, I don't think it's that difficult. Just get bat on ball, score for every ball, get up to 102 runs, 103 runs, and you can fight with that.
Well, we've seen some strange things in cricket. The old-fashioned cliche that it's a game of glorious uncertainties. And that has always been confirmed in many games across the world. You don't really make too many predictions in regards to the outcome of games. That's cricket.
It's all over when the fat ladies sing. That's a term they use back in Barbados.
Oh, so it was in fact throughout the Caribbean, and yes, Barbados does use it quite a lot. The ball goes in the air, the catch is going to be taken. No,
it's over the fielder's head.
Just over his head. That seemed to be Alexander right down there, the long off area. Maybe didn't judge it all that well because he was coming in, and the ball seemed to be going over his head. Now let's see if we can pick this up here. The ball was struck down to long off, and the fielder was coming in. Notice that, and then he had to backpedal. That's where he made the mistake.
That's a very serious shot from Mr. Lewis. And then Lewis is swinging at this one down to the long one, and a 6 more.
That's another good hit. Really good. Got right on that one and lifted it high and hard and handsome.
Where was Lewis all along?
He's got to 13 though, rather quickly.
Oh my! This is fantastic stuff. This is Glenn Maxwell kind of stuff here we're seeing from Lewis. Let's see how he goes. That's two consecutive sixes.
13 of 4.
Let's see again. Oh.
Outside the off stump, he was backing away, looking to cut that. Good delivery there by Charles, who just pulled it back, didn't bring it up, but just pulled back the line, the length, sorry, a bit.
So it's into ball, and Lewis is going back trying to get a quick single, but I don't think Lewis should be looking for quick singles at this time. Just continue to swing. If it connects and go for 6, it goes for 6.
It's agreed. You know, you've got the last over and just the 2 deliveries remaining. You're looking for boundaries in the closing stages of your innings. It's not just about protecting your wicket now. It's not about coming not out 13. No, you got to go for the big bang. Would he do that now? Push it out on the onside. They've hustled for 1. They won't come back for the second. Not good batting, really not good batting at all. He should have been having a big hit at that one and trying to connect, get the boundary riders coming into play. Not good batting at all. So Shaquem Charles has the final delivery coming up. Can he do something special with it? Would it be the big bang? Straight back past the bowler. They've hustled for 1. They should come back for the second. No, they won't. The return comes in to the bowler's end. So that completes the innings. St. Andrews 110 for 7 as Shaquem Charles not out 3. Kevin Lewis, couple of big hits in his innings. He's not out 14. Athenaeus completed his 4 overs, 4 none for 27. And Denroy Charles, who picked up 1 for 35, the most expensive of the St. John's bowlers. So we will in fact go through a little bit of the scorecard. In Matthews, who had a good innings of half a century, he was leg before to George for 62 balls, 57 minutes, 4 fours and 2 sixes. and he batted very well. Teddy Bishop started off very well with Matthew, but he was bowled by Iman Alexander for 10 balls, 22 minutes. Then the slide really started. Akeem Ogis was bowled by Charles without scoring. Donald McDonald caught Charles, bowled George. He went for 7. Darren Ned was bowled by George without scoring. Daniel McDonald played a little cameo, 15 balls for 16 runs, stayed at the wicket for 15 minutes. Sherman Lewis was bowled by George for 4. Shaquem Charles not out 3. Kevin Lewis was not out 14 of 7 deliveries. And the total being 111 for 7. 111 for 7. Extras 2 has been good bowling there by St. John's. Iman Alexander had 1 for 18 of 4. Alec Athanaeus, none for 27. A little bit expensive from the context of the game. None for 27 of 4. Denroy Charles had 1 for 35, the most expensive of the bowlers. Kieran Charles, 4 overs no miss, none for 19. Dennis George had 5 for 10 of 4 overs. 4 overs, 1 made. He's picked up 5 for 10. Quite remarkable. I don't think this is going to be outdone in the competition, really. You can't get better than that. So after 20, St. Andrew, 110 for 7. 110 for 7. 20 overs gone. And Kerry is down there. He'll be having, as usual, a post-innings interview. Let's go over to Kerry.
We here with Dennis George, the champion bowler from St. Patrick's. Dennis George, 5 for 10. Certainly excited with your performance.
Well, I think it was extreme performance. I think we come back very well from the 2 last game. I think we had a very good team effort today, and I think it was a very good job.
All right, playing St. Andrew is a parish that you know very well, would have represented St. Andrew in the past. Was there any extra feeling to this match coming up, getting up this morning and turning up for this fixture?
Yeah, well, I live on with a good mood and thing for this game because we had 2 hard games before last weekend, and I think we come very good today and we play well.
All right, so we know you guys have, the batting has not always been that fluent, but 110, you guys should be feeling quite confident to wrap up that victory.
Yeah, because I will say that because we had Devon coming and Martinez, I think that would give us an extra boost.
All right, so Sawyer, certainly the leading wicket taker in the tournament, going up to 13. You're going on in the age, but the bowling skills and the guile is still there and evident for everyone to see.
Yeah, well, he always there, just very talented. I just back myself all the time, and I'm very pleased with the job today.
All right, so Dennis, Sawyer, George, we want to wish you all the best and congratulate you on your performance and all the best for the rest of the match.
Thanks.
All right, so that was the pitch side with Dennis George. 5 for 10, champion bowler from St. Patrick's, has helped restrict St. Andrew to 110 in the 20 overs.
Well, when you get to pick up a 5 in an innings, 4 overs, 1 maiden, he's picked up 5 for 10. And I would love to see that being bettered by anyone else. So that's the situation. It's 110 for 7. That's in Andrew's total. So it means that St. John, they'll have to get 111, all the ones for victory. And with the lineup that they do have, St. John, I would not be surprised if they cross over the victory line. So we're going to be here, of course, to bring you more coverage of this match between St. Andrew and St. John. We wait for innings. So, welcome back here to the National Cricket Stadium in Grenada, St. George's. And just to remind you, to win 111 St. Patrick, and my deepest apologies, of course, to our listeners that I kept saying St. John rather than St. Patrick. So my humble apology about that. I hope it's accepted, Justin Hector.
Of course it is. But thank you for making it known that there is a parish called St. John.
So the opening pair here is it's going to be Lewis. Down the leg side. Wide call by the umpire, confirmed a wide. So that's not a good beginning at all. Just to remind you, of course, that 111 is the victory target, St. Patrick, and they should get there. I see absolutely no reason why they shouldn't. But of course, Sherman, Lewis, and others would have other things on the back of their mind. Arthur Nares facing up to Lewis. He's got a bustling approach. He's there and bowls down the leg side. The umpire is going to call that a wide too. Did have good carry, as the keeper having to just dance around to his right. So, Justin, it's been overcast for most of the afternoon, but no threat of rain.
It's been that way most of the day, for that matter. Throughout the morning, we really saw the sunlight at all, and but I think it was sort of enjoyable for the players, quite comfortable for them.
Lewis is going to move in again. He's not had the first two good deliveries. That one was a beauty. That was a beautiful delivery, pitched just maybe about the off stump. And Arthur Nares was just pushing at that. It was a lovely delivery, had good bounce, good carry, and brought some measure of discomfort. Let's look at that on the replay again. Slanting across the left-hander's body. That ball carried. Good pace.
Well, there must be a little, competitiveness between these two. They would have Athens would have bat quite a bit in the nets in practice against Lewis, so they would have a little battle within the general battle.
There's ball that spiral out on the offside. They will in fact go for the single. The return comes in from short third man. The umpire does not signal, so which means that did he signal? No, he didn't. Right, so he did get, in fact, a nick onto that one. And I thought there should have been a more aggressive approach on the fielder at the field at short third man. Maybe should have had a greater effort, and even the slipper maybe should have gone across to make that into a catch.
Yes, it was a token effort on his part. Just virtually took a few steps and almost looked at it come down. It went quite high.
And Lewis, in fact, his arms akimbo, he stood there in disbelief as if to say, why didn't somebody take the catch? Feeling up for that outside the off stump. He is coming through with a bit of pace. That one was the way swinger. And Benjamin had no foot movement at all. And that's one of the cardinal errors of his batting. He doesn't use his feet very well, and especially if you're opening the innings, you want to make sure that you got those feet moving. Edges all caught behind. Big deflection, you could see it. It was coming outside the off stump, a bit of a way swing, and he pushed at it. His feet were there, didn't go anywhere. The catch is taken, and so Benjamin goes. They've got a set back already. St. Patrick, they're 3 for 1.
And St. Patrick would be happy, and also Sherman Lewis, because he have not been able to effect breakthroughs as early as they would have hoped in some of the earlier matches. They depend heavily on him to get rid of the top order batsmen, which he haven't picked up too many wickets during the course of the competition so far. That would help, and certainly 110, and if St. Patrick continue to lose wicket on a regular basis, I think we will have to listen to what Tanti has to say.
But he certainly has to work on his foot movements. I'm talking about Benjamin. He stood there, sparred at it, as if seeking to give the keeper a catch. And it was well taken by Matthew, just slipping across to his right. But it's nice to see Lewis really bounding in and bowling rather quickly.
It's probably the best we've seen him. He looked a little bit lethargic in the earlier games. I don't know if he was carrying a little niggle, but he does look a lot freer. And once again, we've seen the old away swing.
Yes.
So yeah.
He's known to swing the ball. He's bowled good Yorkers too. And this good carry here. This to me is very admirable to see a pitch giving such great carry. Carry is to bowl to Dennis Smith outside the off stump, left alone. And again, good carry to the keeper. So a bit of repair job would have to be done here. 2 extras already in the over. There were wides. And one that went down to short third man. In my opinion, greater effort could have been made. So Lewis has picked up one already. It's bowled well. This is the last delivery coming up in this over. Left alone by Smith outside the off stump. So he would be pleased with his first over in Lewis. He's picked up the wicket of Wavell Benjamin. And so after one, St. Patrick, they're 3 for 1.
Well, maybe Lewis a little bit disappointed that he probably didn't force Smith to at least play one of the 2 deliveries which he faced. He just come in and bowling a good head of steam. I think you'd have wanted to make Smith play a little more. Smith, a little man, and would have been interesting if he had maybe forced him to play that last 2 deliveries. But it's been a good first over, 3 for 1. There basically has contained St. Patrick, if I should put it so. On what is required, and I think that is what we need to keep an eye on. If the St. Andrew team can continue to squeeze the St. Patrick batting, it will be very interesting to see how they'll go about accumulating the 111 runs needed for victory.
Well, it's going to be Darren Ned that will bowl from the northern or Dabo end. Beg your pardon. He's got a third man. Man, just at the squarish cover, almost verging on backward point. Extra cover and conventional cover. Mid-off, mid-on. There is a mid-wicket, forward square leg, and a man right back on the long leg boundary. That's the field for Ned, who would move in to bowl to Athenaeus. Wayward delivery down the leg side, wide, confirmed by the umpire. And talking about the umpire, I think that by and large, Justin, the umpiring, the officiating has been very, very good.
Yeah, very, very good. And I mean, they do not have the luxury of having like the DRS or replays and so, but we can bear them out.
Again down the leg side, the umpire again signaled that's a wide. This game of cricket is of the nature that you don't want to be bowling down the leg side. Anything that is marginal will be called a wide by the umpire. So they're basically saying nothing outside the leg stump. You've got to be on or thereabout on the leg stump, on the stumps, and a little bit outside the off stump, and you get a little bit more leverage if it's outside the off stump. It's a little wider.
Is it a ploy? Shaman started with 2 wides. Ned.
Let's put it as coincidence. Hits that in the air. Somebody's going to take the catch. No, it's going to go all the way. That's 6. Well, he helped it on its way. Not confirmed by the umpire. It was short. Went under it and lifted it down to the long leg area. For a moment, it looked as though the fielder was going to go under and take the catch, but it had sufficient power attached to it. It went over the boundary line and cleared it by, I would think, maybe about 10 yards.
Okay. Just like Shaman, Ned could have almost been third time lucky.
It's going to come from round the wicket this time. Pulls that. The catch is going to be taken. Gone! Gone! Well, it was set up there. It traveled very quickly down to the deep backward square area, verging on a kind of whitish long leg, and the catch has been taken. No, that was struck very hard. Sherman Lewis took the catch. That was traveling, but it was traveling in his path. Let's look again at the replay. It traveled quickly. I thought that was a good catch. It was over his head too, and you had to have the good frame of mind to take that. I've seen fielders bubble those and drop those before, but not today. It was in the safe hands of Sherman Lewis, and they've lost another one. So it's now 11 for 2.
That was part of the plan, Pastor. To bowl 2 wides on the leg side and pick up the wicket after. As I told you so. And I don't know.
Well,
have you contacted Tanti, you know? Not yet.
Well, that's what you call real coincidences. Or sequence of coincidences, if you want to put that way. So the two Smiths are in the middle now. Arthanez will go back disconsolately because he knows that maybe he should have gotten on top of that one, or maybe he could have elected to let it go by. So Devon Smith will join Dennis Smith. Both batsmen yet to score. Dennis has received 2 balls so far. Devon Smith comes out, and this total of 110 might be a challenging one to get.
Well, I don't know, maybe Crony, when he comes and tell us what has been Pasco. Pasco here has been about 90, maybe between 90 and 100 has been the Pasco so far in the tournament.
Well. So it's 11 for 2. We're in over number 2. Devon Smith will come in to strike. Can he do something special today for his team, St. Patrick? He's been a prolific scorer in regional cricket over the years, and now in the twilight zone of his career. Let's see if he can produce the goods. Ned began to move in, then aborted his run. Maybe he wasn't quite comfortable. He's going to go around the wicket to bowl to Devon Smith.
George did mention something in the interview. If Arthanez was if Arthanez dismissal was a psychological blow, if Smith goes now, that will be a killer blow.
Yeah, the first delivery to Smith was one that was threatening to go into the mid-rib area. Took it on the forearm, it looks like, and doesn't seem to favor it. Over the years, he has been hit all parts of the boundary of the body. Beg your pardon. If you're a opening batsman, you've got to expect to put your body in the line of duty, and it's been peppered, I would think, over the years. Smith is getting onto the front foot and pulls that onto the back foot, pulls that behind square. That's 4 runs. Now he's one of the best pullers in regional cricket. It was short, eased onto the back foot, and he pulled it just behind square down to the boundary for 4. It was well controlled. So Smith is off the mark. He's gone to 4, and St. Patrick's, well, they've moved on to 15 for 2.
Vintage Devon Smith. Probably I would have preferred to see what St. Andrew have employed that seem to have decided to go short initially, and probably maybe could have been maybe looking to force Devon to play outside the off stump, looking for the outside edge or something like that. But at that pace, I don't think he would trouble Devon too much.
He would need to pitch the ball up. Yeah. Let Devon Smith come forward and look to drive. Let's see what he's going to do with this delivery. Turns it behind square on the leg side as Lewis comes off the boundary. Devon Smith gets his 5th run. They amble quite comfortably and nonchalantly a single. And the field is going to change over for the right-handed Dennis Smith. He's yet to score. He's faced just 2 balls. But the restorative work would have to be done by these two senior players and 2 of the most experienced players there. Ned pulled. Didn't gather very well, and not gathered very well by the fielder at square leg. This is going to go very close to the boundary. It won't go over the boundary line, but they will in fact get 2, as it was badly missed by the fielder at square leg there, and resulted in 2.
One really expects better from Bishop. It looks like he's supposed to be one of the more established players in the St. Andrew team. Of course, he's very much a part of the Volcano setup, and therefore you expect better performances from these guys. And that was really inept bit of fielding, went straight to the legs. You know, something that you shouldn't expect to see, especially when you're only defending a very small total.
Yeah, there was absolutely no commitment at all. You could see that he barely, as if he didn't really want to bend down. Look at the replay. His bending was lethargic, and he probably was indecisive as to whether he should bend or not. And you know, if you're going to be fielding, you just got to bend that body. Teddy Bishop, well, he's a culprit there. I'm sure that his captain would have something to say to him maybe at the end of the match, especially if it's being lost. You have to do better than that, Teddy. Lift your game. So Lewis will begin his. So there's no question as to the run rate. The run rate there is currently 9, but they've lost 2 wickets. Here's Lewis to Devon Smith, who pulls well, fine shot. This is going to go into the boundary 4 runs. No need to run after that one. It was short, rocked onto the back foot. He's a great puller. Once it's shot, he's going to pull. Good cutter of the ball too. But I just find though in his advancing years that he pulled the ball even better than he cut it. And that went for 4. He's gone to 9. So it's going to be counter-attacking stuff here. That's what it looks like. Devon Smith. So looks pretty good, doesn't he? It's gone to 9. Pacey delivery outside the off stump. Well played by Devon Smith. Just let it go by. Now here at this point, Lewis is bowling over the wicket and he's seeking to move the ball across the left-hander's body. Generally, he would prefer to bowl over the wicket to the right-handed batsman and to get the away movement. But of course, you've got a batsman with contrasting handedness. You've got to make the adjustment as deemed necessary. He's in again to bowl to Smith. Wayward delivery, verging on a wide, confirmed in fact by the umpire that it is a wide. 1 more to the total. Extras have gone now to a healthy 5. The total is pushed on to 23. As to whether he's striding for more pace, what do you think?
Maybe just trying to push it across, wanting to get Devon to play away from his body. He has the slip in place.
Well, I would love to see him bring the ball up.
Yes.
Invite Devon Smith to drive. So far, he has pulled well. So bring him onto the front foot. Let's see whether he's going to do that with this ball. That's more like it. They go to a very quick single. They've got to hurry. Well judged. Good judgment by both Smith. I think Smith saw that Devon saw the opportunity. Might have just called him. I don't know which one of the two called, but they were in fact alert enough just to scamper through for the single. They got it rather comfortably in the end, although 3 fielders were converging on it. Well run. So Devon Smith goes into the double figures now. He's got to 10. It's not good for those 10.
Very much so. Rather fluent, and seem to be picking it up rather early, and that's an indication of probably a form. It's just that you're in good rhythm.
Good nick. Down the leg side, helps on his way. He's going to go over the boundary line for 4. Well, Ned coming across there very quickly. Couldn't cut it off. 4-run signal by the umpire. Just slanting down the leg side. Got inside and just turned it. Good, nice control there. Just turned it and clipped it away. It was a genuine clip down to the fine leg area, and it went for 4. That was a lovely shot. I call it lovely because he got inside the line. I've seen many batsmen getting inside the line and not being able to get a nick onto it, but he got inside and genuinely deflected down to fine leg for 4. Clip that to mid wicket, airborne for a little while there. They will come back for the second. No, they decide against it. Dennis Smith thought about it for a fleeting moment and then saw that Devon was not interested at all and went scampering back to his crease. Turned it nicely, but it was airborne and just to the left of the fielder there, to the right rather. He picked up one. So they've raced to 29. We're just in over number 3.
The last shot by Dennis Smith, someone shouldn't be too upset over that. I think he should encourage that. That was a good length.
Delivery that was short and rising, and Devon Smith just got onto the back foot and turned it just back square as the keeper just running across and picked the ball up. The over comes to an end, so it's been a productive one for St. Patrick. The current run rate being 10, and after 3 overs it's now 30 for 2.
If I were St. Andrew, I'd be very concerned. In fact, Devon is looking quite ominous. He seemed to have so much time to play. Although it's something he's always had, but in the present state of the game and the rate at which he's going, I think it's ominous signs for St. Andrew if they do not break through, or at least any one of these partnerships, because what they would want to do, I'm sure, even if you cannot see the back of Devon in a hurry, you would want to be able to pick up wickets on the other end. So I think they will have to break through and break through soon.
So here's Ned to Devon Smith. Well bowled, well played too. It was the slow ball, pitched up, and Smith saw it, I think, early enough for him to make an adjustment. So if he thought maybe about the big booming drive, would have decided against it and just pushed it out to a short extra cover. I think it was good all-round cricket though. It was well bowled. I thought it was well played in the end too.
And that's why he's dangerous, because he picked it up early.
Outside here are some cuts. Cuts well. Fine shot, 4 runs. We told you maybe an over and a half ago how good a cutter he is, how good a puller he is. I think he's become a better puller in recent years, but his cutting really has not gone off the radar at all. Rocked onto the back foot, and he hit that handsomely to the right of the backward point fielder, and it raced across the outfield. Nobody really should have gone after that, at least just to retrieve, certainly not to cut it off. Fine shot by Devon Smith.
You say how good a cutter he is, Pastor. I think as far as St. Andrew is concerned, they wouldn't want to hear us discussing how good a player he still is.
I know he's a lovely player.
Yes.
Has served the region, served Grenada, and served the Windward Islands with distinction over the years. And as I said, though he is, right in the twilight of his cricketing career, he's still playing good shots. Down the leg side will be confirmed a wide by the umpire. So extras have now gone on to a healthy 6. The score is pushed on by 1 now to 35, is it? 35 for 2.
And what Devon has been doing, Pastor, I don't know if you've been looking at him, he seemed to be really looking at the ball intensely. Eyes focused on the ball. I think this is something that a lot of young batsmen should look at.
Yes. When you're batting, and it's delivery that is turned up on the onside, just behind square rather. Let's see if the umpire is going to signal leg by. Yes, confirm. He stood there, the umpire, on his right leg and lifted the left leg, confirmed that it was in fact a leg by. So Smith comes out of strike. That's Devon Smith. He's 15, has batted very well. His 15 runs have come off only 10 deliveries, so he's been going pretty well. His scoring rate being 140. Very good. Delivery that was short and rising. No ball signaled by the umpire. Am I right? Did he?
No, I don't think.
Or maybe he was just signaling that Just saw that right hand went on, but maybe not far out enough to confirm to say it was a no ball. Just look at the umpire here, and just a little later, maybe just showing across to his that's it. Just showing that they're got to his fellow umpire 2 more deliveries to go. They do communicate with each other. The umpires outside the off stump tried to hit that too hard. As Dennis Smith hits it hard into the ground. The ball goes meandering out to mid-off, and there is no run.
It will be interesting to just look at Devon Curry strike rate in terms of in the shorter version of the game. At 150 today, striking at 150. I think it's a pretty high strike rate, good strike rate.
It's the last ball of this over. Delivery that is turned just behind square. Runs here. They will come back for the second quite comfortably. The return is going to come to the keeper. Brings him forward. Not the best return in the world, but just backed up in the offside. So that completes the over. And some 4 overs gone. It's
running. There was a little bit. Maybe they could have challenged for 3. But I want to think Devon may have want to take most of his strike at this point. And basically just amble 2.
Yes, and it was Daniel McDonald who was in fact going after the ball. He's not the most fleet-footed person in the world, and you've got to, Justin, look and see who is going after the ball. That's also critical. So the batsman has to know which player is where and the chances you can take with particular players. Those that are not fleet-footed, not known to have strong returns, you can, take the opportunity to push them and go for a third rather than a conventional 2. So there's a change of bowling from the far end as Daniel McDonald will come into the attack. So spin for the first time. Outside the off-stop, left alone. I think over the years there have been a lot of questions as to Devon Smith's ability to play spin. Obviously preferred the faster bowling, but I've seen him play some very good innings. That was short and given the punishment it deserved, banged it through extra cover, 4 runs. Devon Smith is really motoring along now. He's gone to 19. The fact is that ball is really punishable because it was short outside the off stump and his eyes lit up. Played it very well between the mid-off and extra cover area, and it went careering down to the boundary for 4.
And McDonald has a very interesting approach on delivery. Maybe you should look at him again. Probably wanting to remind Devon about Ajmal.
Slightly start and stop.
Yeah, like side Ajmal. Yeah, this man did have a little bit of problem with Ajmal and Hafiz.
Ajmal was a very good player, turned by Davidson. No, they've hustled for 1 this time. They will in fact come back for the second, rather comfortably too, as the return comes in. Good return. Did in fact seem to dislodge the bail, did it? It was close to, no it didn't. For a moment it looked as though it may have just hit the stumps, but if it didn't dislodge the bail. Bad miss by Devon Smith. It was short outside the off stump. Maybe looking to hit that one just too hard. Hit it hard into the ground. And the ball went across there to squarish cover. So the offside field really set. There's a long off, extra cover. Mid-off is rather wide Then there's a extra cover, and a backward point. So 4 fielders rather close in. Smith gets a full toss that he pushes down to long off, and they simply amble a single. So Devon Smith has now gone to 22. The over comes to an end. That's right. So 5 overs gone. 45 for 2, and the current run rate is exactly 9.
Yes, we did say that he pushed it down, but the ball did travel quite quickly down to the fielder down on the long boundary. I guess some of these Thomas Pastor can be relative. What might be a push for Devon Smith? Maybe a full blown shot for drive or something powerfully struck shot by another batsman.
Well, very
The
often
ball
it's about timing, how well you can time the ball. It's not how, how big it might be in terms of the wallop and how much strength you go after a ball with. You can really come down on a ball hard, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go far, simply because it's not properly timed. The timing is what really gets the work done,
So
not necessarily the energy behind the shot.
Rogers.
Wrapped on the pad, ball may be pitching outside the leg stump. Richard Rogers, the new bowler from the northern Odabo end. It's at what time the ball hits the bat, and also what point of the bat that it's hit also. Ball hitting the pad and going down to fine leg. Because again, the ball could hit the middle of the bat and doesn't mean that it is well timed. Could be the middle, but which part? Is it the upper middle? Ball is hit down to the long on area by Devon Smith. Will come back for the second. The return comes into the non-striker's end. He has to hurry. That's Dennis Smith. But he knew that he could get back home, get there for two. Two more to Smith, gone to 24. Of course, when you talk about timing, there are so many cricketers who are known to be handsome timers of the ball. Going to talk a little bit about that. They go to a very quick single, played with soft hands. There, Devon Smith gets a single, and if a quarter century is a landmark, then he's reached a landmark.
Yes. No, we would want to talk about Lawrence Rowe.
Lawrence Rowe, that's the first name that came to mind.
Yes.
Lawrence Rowe, brilliant 302.
I was surprised you didn't mention 5 inches from the bottom of the bat bust.
Yeah, that's
See this?
important as to where you hit
The sweet spot.
the sweet spot.
Yes.
And if so, Everton Week tells you 5 inches from the base is the sweet spot. Bet you he is right. Died at age 96, I think, and I had the privilege of doing cricket commentary with him many years ago. Very witty gentleman he was. Rogers is cut behind square. That's going to go all the way to the boundary for 4. Short outside the off stump, cuttable, and he rocked onto the back foot. Got right on top of that one is Dennis Smith, and he spanked it through the offside for 4. Brings his total now to 13, and the 50 has been posted down for St. Patrick's. 52 for 2.
Yeah, it's just too short and too wide by Rogers. And this batsman will punish you every day, every minute.
So the 50 coming up in 5.5 overs. The run rate being now 8.91. Well bowled, pushed up onto the offside. Bishop can't prevent them from getting the single. The over comes to an end. And at the end of over number 6, it's 53 for 2. And St. Patrick's look very much on course here. At least the run rate is good. They lost a couple of early wickets, but these two have done a bit of redemptive work.
And well, maybe Tanti may have cancelled. I want to expect that probably we may have seen a real ding-dong battle, but as it stands now,
No need for her to come.
no,
Justin, of course.
Put on standby.
Justin, of course, is, in case you must have heard him talk about Tanti, you've got to be in the cricket for a little while now to understand what he's referring to. The old-fashioned Tanti Mull story. Of course, Paul Keynes Douglas talking about Combined Islands versus, who was it?
Trinidad.
Trinidad and Tobago at the Oval in Trinidad. That's right. What year was that, Justin? Could you
I can't
remember?
remember. Maybe 77, 78. I don't know. I can't
Gosh,
remember.
what a match it was. Combined Islands came home with it, didn't they?
Yeah, could have been in the 70s, yeah.
Tanty Merle at the Oval. Pushed up on the
trouble,
offside. Devon Smith has to go back. It's trouble! Trouble!
Wow.
Just missed at the non-striker's end. Smith was tearing down the pitch, was really coming very quickly. He felt that there was a single. The truth is, that's his call. It is call. He called him, but Dennis Smith remained at his crease, didn't move. Pull down to the deep mid-wicket area, 4 runs. Just a couple of bounces over. Full toss. Got the treatment it deserved. Bad delivery there by Daniel McDonald. And he capitalized on it and pulled it down to the deep mid-wicket boundary for 4. So, bad bowling. And when they're bad, you got to put them away. Short, tucked down to the mid-wicket position. They won't come back for the second. The return comes in. They get just a 1. So this partnership has now yielded 47. The required run rate is just 3.93. So that's not really any much to talk about. They're going at 8.92.
Really, it's probably one of the better period of batting we've witnessed through the tournament so far.
Enterprising, you'd want to call it. So Devon Smith just seemed to have lost nothing at all. Not even his running between the wickets. Age 39. Pushed that ball down to the sweeper position. As Bishop comes off the boundary, they get a single. Rather comfortable single. Now brings Smith, who is 19, into strike.
But how do you equate that? He's younger than Chris Gale. He's same age with Fidel Edwards. Maybe fitter than them both.
Well, there's been a lot of talk as to whether Chris Gale should have been on the current 2020 squad for the West Indies, and I may come in for quite a bit of a tongue lashing, but I really think that he should not have been on the team, quite frankly.
I'll take some of the blows for you, Pastor.
Well, thank you. It'll ease me up. Delivery that just brings Devon Smith stylishly forward and pushes it back to the bowler. So the over comes to an end. So that's 7 overs gone. 60 for 2. Smith is 26, and that's Devon Smith is 26, and Dennis Smith is 20.
And the captain, Lewis, must be a very worried man now. Seeing, trying to... It does look a little bit down. Yeah. Maybe, but he probably as a senior pro, the best bowler on the team, probably he can't leave it until it's too late. He has to come back and try to see if he can prize one of those wickets out.
Well, Rogers will continue to bowl. 8 runs coming off his first delivery, his first over, beg your pardon. He want to redeem himself a little bit here and make sure that he's as tight as possible and try to see whether he can capture the wicket of one of these 2 outstanding players. Shot outside the off stump. That's not how he's going to capture it. Then it's been cut down to the deep extra cover boundary. They come back for the second quite comfortably. So they get 2. Smith goes by 2. Therefore, he's now gone on to 22, that is.
It's some work for Rogers, the wrist spinner. He just seemed to not have that control yet, although wrist spin is a difficult art.
Given generous flight and full toss that he really didn't handle very well at all. Dennis Smith, maybe he's surprised to see that the ball was coming to him at full toss height and just padded out to Lewis, who was feeling just behind square on the offside. It's a learning experience for Rogers. Just spinning the ball from hand to hand, moves in to bowl to Smith. And Dennis Smith goes onto the back foot and just pats the ball. You don't even want to describe it as cut, rather, but pats the ball down to backward point as Sherman Lewis again had to pick up. Drive in the air. Oh, that's a lovely shot. It's going to go just a couple of bunks. I thought it would have gone a little bit straighter, really. The the bowler not very happy with the effort there. It wasn't catchable because the fielder had to come from the sweeper position, had to make coverage, and it went over the extra cover, and didn't really get down to the extra cover boundary, and they got one. But he opened the face of the bat and hit it inside out. It's a shot that demands a bit of skill, really. Rogers to Devon Smith, looking to turn that down the leg side, doesn't make contact. The keeper collects behind the stumps. Confirmed as a wide by the umpire. Brings the total now to 64.
The extras contributing 8 extras so far, and in a low scoring encounter, it's quite a lot.
You're sure right. Those are things that we've got to look at and make sure that they're put under control in playing, particularly 2020 cricket. Good shot by Devon Smith, just using his speed. Didn't really come down the track much, but just a little step out, got to the pitch of it, and pushed the ball down to the wide-ish long on position, got a single. The over comes to an end, so 8 overs gone, 65 for 2. Both Smiths are there with Devon Smith. He's there 27 of 24, and Dennis Smith a little faster, 23 of 18.
So the Smiths are in control, and I think if St. Patrick had to stop the train of if St. Andrew had to stop the train of St. Patrick, I think they will definitely have to get one of those batsmen out. And I think it's about time that Sherman probably come back into the attack. He's the most experienced. There's no point in coming back for overs later after the game is gone, after the horse has bolted. So we'll have to be seen what he has in mind. Apparently there's another change at the southern end. So yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Sherman Lewis bowl maybe 3 overs on the trot. He was getting bungs and good lift, good carry, but he pulled himself out of the attack. New bowler now is Shakim Charles from the southern or the River Road end. They've not formalized the ends really here at the National Stadium. Sometimes it's referred to, well, very often the River Road end, or I've heard commentators in the past talk about the cemetery end.
Or the river end.
Or the river end. So until now, wrapped on the pad, there doesn't appear for like before, not given out. The ball might have been sinking down the leg side. But there's no question about the Darbo end.
No. But you even talk about the southern end.
Yes.
And even the Darbo end sometimes are referred to as the northern end.
And of course Darbo is northern. River Road end is southern, or the river end. And quite understandably, the reason for the River Road end is simply because that area is called River Road, and a river runs alongside the road, the path.
Just a little thing. Smith wasn't quite ready. Just saying, have respect for the old man.
Well, this is the second time that Shakim Charles has come in, and Devon Smith is not ready, and he will go back. Let me see what's going to do with this third ball. Now he's gone back. He's going to just turn and come in immediately. Then, quite interestingly, Dennis Smith walked across as if to go into his path to say, hey, you behave yourself. Interesting that. And so Shakim Charles came in and this time didn't deliver the ball. And Devon Smith now pulls out of his stance.
Extraordinary biplay.
I have not seen this ever before, and I've seen a lot of cricket. And the umpire now stretches out his hands as if to say, no, you can't come as yet. You've got to wait. This is incredible. All is well now. and he would move in. Will he bowl it? Yes, he does. Onto the back foot, turns it neatly. Down behind square, runs it. It's not going to go into the boundary. The fielder comes around, will send the return back as Kelvin Lewis. Good return. They do come back for the second run. 2 more to Devon Smith. Pushes his total now to 29. You ever seen this before?
No, finally after 6 deliveries, 6 attempts.
Attempts, really.
Yeah, finally.
Quite interesting that. I've never seen this before. And you can see, in fact, Dennis Smith actually going into the path of the bowler to make sure that Devon Smith is ready in his stance. Turn up to short mid-wicket. Lewis comes in very quickly and picks up. Interesting that. I've done commentary since 1991. I've never seen anything like this. Delivery that pushes Devon Smith back. And he picked up the ball in frustration, really. Is Charles and hurls it to the keeper. That's not good cricket at all. It really is poor. It shows that you're angry about something, but that's not the way you play the game of cricket. It's not in the spirit of the game. And he would make his way maybe down to the deep mid-wicket area. I'd be surprised that if he's brought back into the attack, he's bowled 2 overs for 13. And if I were the captain, there's no way I'm going to bring you back into that bowling attack.
And before I do that, I would have go into his ear and whisper to him, "This is Devon Smith." Don't think he know. Probably doesn't know. You know.
Just wondered why the reaction.
Yes.
Really surprised about that. So Rogers in again, bowls to Smith. Smith is off the back foot and opens the face of the bat, gets it down to third man. They will come back for the second. The return comes in. They've got to hurry. It's at the keeper's end and then relayed to the non-striker's end, and the batsman can get 2.
It's a weak return, you have to say. He did pick the ball up, but the return was not very strong at all.
So the St. Patrick's team just cantering home, 69 for 2. The run rate is 7.53, so it has nothing to do with that. And they've got 8 wickets intact, so they're on course here. Smith reaches forward, nicely flighted delivery, pushes it out to short extra cover. As station there, Daniel McDonald picks up, swings that down to the deep mid-wicket boundary. As the return comes in, flat one, good service back to the keeper. So just a single there by Dennis Smith. Total pushes into the 70s now. Well, 70 for 2. A little adjustment to the field. There is a mid-wicket now that is put there. There's one short and then there's one deep. And then there's a short, wide, long on, if you want to put it that way. Beaten outside the off stump. Devon Smith pushing forward. Keeper whipping off the bails. So there's a short mid-wicket. Sorry, short extra cover, beg your pardon. And then there is a sort of short, wide mid-off and a long off right back on the boundary. Interesting field place. He's rung the wicket this time, Rogers. Smith is pulling that one down to the deep mid-wicket boundary. Short delivery. Tugged it from outside the off stump and hit it out to the deep mid-wicket area. Got a single, rather comfortable single. It's gone on to 13. It's played an innings of maturity with cool, calculated composure. Left alone outside the off stump. Over comes to an end. So Rogers, 3 overs, no maidens, none for 17, 71 for 2. After the halfway mark, 10 overs gone.
Yes, and the captain Lewis just seemed to have lost the plot. There's maybe one or two very agitated fielders out there. What the problem really is, we can tell from here. But we've seen the captain down on the with his hands on his hip and almost in a resigned kind of manner, just trying to get things together. The keeper is in consultation with Matthew and so on. So things just haven't been too well, it seems, with the fielding team at the moment.
Well, Shaquem Charles is
He's still here, he's back into the attack. It's
interesting that.
continue.
So
Something will give.
Devon Smith. I hope we don't have a repeat of what transpired earlier on. Smith has batted well today. Led from the front, terms of experience. And Dennis, of course, at the non-strikers end has really done well too. Pushed up to a long off, will get a single. Is Devon Smith. They almost walk a single. Rather say they jogged a single. It's a little faster than walk. Brings Dennis Smith now into strike. Smith is 26. We're in over number 11. 72 for 2. But it's been a cool day. It's not been one of those traditionally hot cricket days. It's been overcast for most of the day. And it's been a strange dry season, if you want to put it this way. And the meteorologists, and they're saying that we're going to have spurts of rain throughout the dry season, at least up until April. Delivery that is hit down to the third man area. Would it go all the way? No, pull just inside. The return comes in and they come back for what would be the second run.
Yes, 2.
So 2 more to Dennis Smith. Now goes on to 28.
As I would say, a well-crafted 2 opening the face of the bat and just gliding it past the man at backward point.
Kelvin Lewis in that position. This time it's hit down to the deep extra cover position. Just in fact managed to pull it back inside. They come back for the second run. Good work down at the deep extra cover boundary.
Yes.
2 more.
Look like Ned down there with some very good work.
Yeah, did well. 2 more to Dennis Smith. The over comes to an end. So nothing untoward there in that Shaquem Charles is over. So he's bowled 2 overs for 7. Richard Rogers, 3 overs for 17. 11 overs gone is 76 for 2.
And you St. Andrew have been able to just claw their way back a bit, just pull the rate back a bit. The required rate is now 3.89. At one point it was lower than that. They were scoring at about 8 runs and over, 10 runs and over. Now they're scoring just about 7. And I think they would want to try to exert some pressure and pick wickets up. I think that's the way they would peg St. Patrick back. They'll have to pick some wickets up.
So we'll just give you some team standing during the course of this over. As Rogers will be bowling his 4th and final over. Smith is onto the front foot and pushes it back along the track for the bowler to pick up. So St. George's, they've played 3-1-3. St. Andrew, they've played 3-1-2, lost 1. Down the track came Smith and missed everything, and the keeper seemed to have missed that too. That's going to go close to the deep fine leg boundary. They come back for the second. Let's see what the umpire would say. It's going to be confirmed as byes. I would love to see that. He was dancing down the track, beaten with the flight. Let's look at it. The replay is coming up. Down the track, missed it. Oh, and the keeper missed it too. And the ball, in fact, did turn a long way and went down to fine leg.
Well, that was the opportunity.
He missed it.
Now he's beating Smith on both edges of the bat.
It was the leg spinner. Well, of course, the googly to the left-handed batsman. Turned up to mid-wicket. Forward square leg, preferably. Gets a single. Is Devon Smith. Now goes on to 32. But that was a real biter. of a delivery that beat Devon Smith. He was down the track, and the keeper was also beaten.
Good spell for St. Andrew. Good period of play for them. And we often hear good spinners talking about beating both edges, both sides of the bat, both edges of the bat, the inside and the outside edge.
Driven up to short extra cover. Is it caught?
No,
I think for a moment. Well, I think you got to bring a little bit of laughter here and there. But he threw the ball up in the air as if to say that's out, but certainly wasn't. Off the back foot and cuts the ball down to third man. Runs here for him, just a one rather. We'll get a single. So the over comes to an end, and at the end of 12 overs is 80 for 2. And just to go through the rest of the team standings, St. Patrick's 3 played, they've won 1, they've lost 2. St. Mark's, well, they've played 2, they haven't won a game, they've lost both matches. And St. John, similarly to that of St. Mark's, they've played 2, they've won nothing, and they've lost 2.
Well, St. Mark has won against St. John today, so that means they would have won.
Oh, so they did win against him.
Yes.
Oh, well, hats off to them. Congratulations to them.
St. John is still in the cellar.
It's not a place you'd like to be at all, whether it's literally or figuratively. So here's Shaquem Charles, will come up with his third over. None for 7 so far. Dennis George, well, now has 13 wickets in the tournament.
Yes, healthy.
Yorker-like delivery. First up, Dennis is saying, hey, I'm still playing this game.
Yes. So what's it?
Shaquem Charles, he's an absolute character, isn't he? Turned up on the onside to a short bid on, and there is no run. Just wonder what he might be saying out there. He's a busybody. He's chirping quite a bit and doing all sorts of little antics here and there. Now dusts his hands wipes his hand into the dirt, maybe a little perspiration to get it as dry as possible. Outside the arse stump, spang that down to the deep cover position. They've gone for 1, will come back for the second. No, they decided against it. Devon Smith was not interested. There should have been 2, I thought, but decided just to take the single.
I think the fieldsman, he recovered rather well in the end, so I guess Smith is not going to take any chances now. The asking rate is only 4, and it's going up. It's heading up. It's what? So it's going north. The asking rate is now going north, Pastor.
Well, probably going south. All depends on how you look at it. But it looks very much easy sailing for St. Patrick's here. Must be very happy with this performance. The victory target being 110, driven up to deep extra cover, and that's going to go all the way into the boundary for 4. That was a handsome shot. Now you've got to be very, very pleased with that shot, because it was hit between that cover, that extra cover, and the long off. Extra cover didn't have the chance to go across to his left and cut it off. It just tells you how well it was timed, because there's a mid-off, extra cover, and then there's a long off, maybe like a straight long extra cover, and he was able to pierce the gap and was able to get 4 runs. Well played, Devon Smith. Then hits another delivery out to the sweeper position and gets a single. So he's now got to 37.
See the ball so crisply.
Timing was really good, not brute force. Nice shot by Smith. Turned down to backward square. They won't come back for the second. The return comes into the non-striker's end. So that completes the over, does it? Yes. Over is completed. 13 overs gone. and St. Patrick's. They've got a victory target of 110. They're now 88 for 2.
And one of the things that they just won't be denied from this position. Yeah, I mean, if they lose it from here, then the name of the game probably is not cricket. But they're comfortably there. The Smith relatives, they're not brothers. Yeah, uncle and nephew, I think, Basta. Yeah,
Not surprising, is it?
yeah.
You're that close and you've got cricket in your blood. Should be passed on to the younger ones, shouldn't it?
And
So-
when you're there together, there must be some kind of admonition. I guess uncle is in charge of there.
Should be, shouldn't he? So Jensen Phillip is now brought into the attack. And he's going to be moving into bowl to Dennis Smith. Fast delivery down the leg side. Wayward delivery. This is going to go into the boundary, I believe. I think it's going to be 4. Yes, it's not cut off wide. Signal by the umpire. He just ran on and slanted it down the leg side. The keeper, you can't fault him. And it went past the batsman and the keeper to the boundary for 4. Bat delivery.
As I said earlier, maybe that's part of the game plan. Yet another bowler starting with a wide down the leg side.
Well, we've seen it with what? 3 of the bowlers so far?
Yes.
Interesting that. So here is Jensen Phillip again. He's going to try. Pulled. Didn't really cue that very well, Smith. He will be a little bit dissatisfied with the outcome of that. Didn't even bring a single. Stopped at mid-wicket. Outside the off stump and bang down to Shaquem Charles, just tumbling over. Wonder what he would say at the end of the game. He's a very expressive young man, isn't he? Delivery that brings Smith forward and drives the ball easily up to long on. Will get a comfortable single. Teddy Bishop walks off the boundary. I think he knew already that it was just going to be 1, so he didn't have to rush. The ball didn't attack the ball. Knew that the batsman would not come back for the second run. So Phillip will now go round the wicket. I think it might be between the stumps and the umpire. And he's going to bowl to Devon Smith. Just making sure that all his players, fielders are where he wants them. And he's in now. Smith is off the back foot and cuts. Can't score. Went after that ball in a rather lazy manner, Devon Smith, as if bored by what's taking place outside there.
Oh. This one really went the wrong way for Phillip. And it almost seems sometime wide signal, almost seems sometime like the ball just grips in the surface.
Yeah, that previous delivery, another wide signal by the umpire. I thought that he probably gripped it too hard. Now, when you, as a spinner, you grip that ball too hard, you will tend to be more on the shorter side.
Yes.
If you notice this time, though, wide again signal by the umpire. He's throwing it up now, so he's gripping it less tightly and giving it more air. But his direction has been poor. Shorter of the back foot. Devon Smith looks bored, really, with that shot that he played out to extra cover. Picked up there by Daniel McDonald. So, rather quiet period here. And a rather innocuous over by the new bowler in Jensen Phillip. 9 runs coming off it. I think there were about how many wides? Were there 3 wides in that over? So after some 14 overs, 97 for 2, 4 wides, in fact, now confirmed in the over, 97 for 2, and St. Patrick's, they're on course for victory.
And easily.
13 more for victory, is that correct, Justin?
Yes, 13 more.
Just want to confirm.
A 14.
14.
Uh-huh.
I knew my math wasn't good, and that's why I looked across to you just to make sure that I was safe.
Well, you were relatively safe.
I missed it by 1, didn't I?
Yes. Close
Oh.
enough. Can be closer than that.
Math has
Yeah.
always been a sorry sight when
Yes.
it came to math. Never did a good job at it at all.
To your credit, though, I think you have improved, and that is what is important.
Well, thank you very much, Justin Hector, for your gracious comment. Whether they're flattering or not, I still take it. Brought a smile to my face. 97 for 2. So they will, in fact, allow Shaquem Charles to bowl out his 4 overs. Entertaining 4 overs they were when they were. Well, 3.1 overs so far. Driven, good stop, good diving stop. They're just to the right of the fielder at backward point. Just cut off. Was that Daniel McDonald? Cut off what might well have been 2 or possibly 3. Devon Smith now comes into strike. They got 1. Charles bowls, turn behind square on the leg side, runs here for Devon Smith, gonna be pulled back just inside. Sliding tackle there by Ned, I think it is, and sends the return, so they get 2. Nicely played by Devon Smith, got inside the line and tickled it nicely, caressed it down to the fine leg position. Down the leg side, wide signal by the umpire. So the 100 has been posted. 100 coming up. It's now 101 with that wide. 101 for 2. So these two use their skill and maturity to bring St. Patrick's very close to the victory target. Driven up to long on. They could come back for the second. Are they going to come back? Yes, they will. The return comes into the keeper's end. But Devon Smith is too fast, and they get 2.
We're on track for what may well be, if I can remember, the first century partnership in the tournament. Can't recall there was another one.
There wasn't.
No, that will be an attainment, an achievement.
Down the leg side, fired through. Down the leg side, wide, confirmed by the umpire.
Wonder Smith will be prognacious enough to finish it with a 6.
I don't think he's going to do that. Doubt it very much.
Oh, trouble. Ah.
Just managed to get back. Where on earth was Dennis Smith going? The ball was struck behind him, and the cardinal reminders will tell you that if it's struck behind you, then it's going to be the striker's call. Now let's look at it. Devon Smith strikes the ball up to mid-on, so it's Devon Smith who has the call. Dennis Smith was screaming going down the track.
Well, he was going north. I guess he lives in St. Patrick, so that's heading in that direction.
Just wondering where he was going, really. There's an appeal for caught behind. Yes, the umpire says that's out. So Devon Smith goes caught behind of the bowling of Shaquem Charles. He is gone for 41. It's 105 for 3, but this looks as it is a bit too late.
And Shaquem would be heavy. He had the final laugh.
Yeah, I would like to see that delivery though. I don't know if we could get the replay. If we can get it, I just would love to see his arm.
Too full, too close to Devon to play that shot.
Now let's look at the arm and see whether the arm has been straight, whether it's cocked. Now that's interesting, but let's look at it. Let's look at it. Well, marginal. I just looked at the arm and it looked a little controversial for me.
Does it look a little more than 9, a little less than Dan and Jay?
So 3 wickets down, and Denroy Charles has now joined Dennis Smith.
And Devon has made it easy for the keeper. Yeah, never just turn down and walk away, and then just glance backward just to probably to confirm that the umpire did send him. So probably knew that he had touched it. But again, a delivery we could say probably just too full, too close to Devon to attempt a shot like that. Was probably trying to get it really fine for 4. And I think for all the the idiosyncrasies we've seen between the batsmen, Charles and the batsmen, I think really and truly something had to give, and somebody had to have the last laugh.
Well, I think Charles had the last laugh, so to speak, but all within this competitive nature of the game. Delivery that brings Dennis Smith forward, just pushes it out in front of him on the offside. Driven up to extra cover. Is that Daniel McDonald?
Oh, they.
Bowling.
That's number 5.
Turned up on the onside. They go to for a very quick angle. They've got to hurry. And they get there. So Smith has gone by 1 to 35. 36, beg your pardon. Brings the new batsman in, just taking his guard and
That's Charles.
looking around the field. It's comfortable now. That one is swung down to the deep mid-wicket area, and that's gone all the way for 4. Between the long on and the deep mid-wicket boundary, fielder rather, he swept that, went down on one knee and swept it and hit it very well indeed. Let's look at how he went down almost. Yeah, in fact, he did go right down. The back knee did touch the ground, and he hit that very well. 4 runs. It was clubbered. 110 for 3. So maybe just a one little nurdle. And if the single comes, they're going to win. So here is a delivery that wraps him on the pad. There is an appeal for leg before, not given out by the umpire.
Interesting, very interesting one.
So
Just
wondering what's taking place. The umpires seem to be gonna have a dialogue. I really don't know what really took place there. I'm just looking at the shot for leg before.
catch.
Was it for the catch? Well, that's strange. If we can go back maybe to that previous delivery and see what happened, because it's really hard to explain what really is taking place.
Well, he's out anyway.
Oh, so Denmark Charles has been given out. Now, could we get the replay? I don't know if we can, but if we can, that would probably put a little bit more light. It looks so anticlimactic out there.
I struck it into his boot or onto the pad and just lobbed up.
Interesting that. Well, it's hard to say what mode of dismissal it has been, because it was a delayed response of the umpire to finally say that he was out.
And if he's in consultation with the square leg umpire, maybe it's just to ask him whether yes, did it come off the boot or something like that, or was the catch clean or something like that. I don't know what to put.
It's hard to say. It's one of the most mysterious dismissals I've seen. Anyway, it's 110 for 4, and who's the new batsman who has come out?
This is Marlon.
That's Marlon Henry.
Yeah.
That's correct. So Marlon Henry now come out, and will he hit the winning run?
Somebody has to. It's about time.
So
I guess the captain would have liked to have the honor to put the final rights.
So McDonald picked up his first wicket, He's 1 for 19 of 2.5. Here is the last delivery coming up. The field has been closed in. And here he's in now. Bowls to Henry. Turns. Wrapped him in the pad. There is a appeal for leg before. Not out, says the umpire. That must have been remarkably close. The appeal went up. The umpire said, no, that's not out. So that completes the over. Let's look at it here, Justin. Pitch just about on the off stump. And, well, you can't fault the umpire for that. I think that's good umpiring. Might well have just gone down the leg side.
Yes, this one may just have gone west.
Yeah, just slanting down the leg side, I think.
Yeah.
So the over comes to an end. 110.
But very, very, very interesting last few moments, last few minutes of the game.
We've just been confirmed, it's been confirmed that the ball fell from the keeper. He was out of his crease. And so it turns out to be a run out.
Oh.
Stump, rather.
Oh, right.
Yes, it'll be stump. He was attempting a run. That's why I called it a mysterious dismissal.
Yes.
So that's why the umpires
Yeah,
did in fact
yeah.
consult.
Yes, I thought the keeper had gotten it. And there was an appeal for something which I thought was a caught, but it wasn't.
So Dennis Smith is driving outside the off stump. Doesn't make contact.
He has to be careful that he didn't go handle ball.
Maybe the spirit of the game comes into play. Here is Phillip to bowl to Smith. Smith is driving out to the fielder just behind square on the leg side. On the offside, beg your pardon. So that's what's the fielder there? Ned, is it? Yes. Turned down, looking to turn that out on the onside. So they've got to wait here still for this this final run. It's 110 for 4. They need just one to bring the victory home. Here once more is Phillip. Bowls to Smith. Gets one. That brings him forward. Pushes it back along the track for the bowler to pick up on his follow through. They're keeping us here longer than expected, aren't they?
Agonizing wait.
Phillip again to bowl to Smith. Turned it behind square. That's going to be the winning run. So they've gone for one. We'll come back for the second. The score is going to turn out to be 112. And so St. Patrick, they've won this game. Defeated St. Andrew. It's 112 for 4. And St. Andrew made 110 for 7. 110 for 7. So they have won this game and won this game comprehensively by 6 wickets. And replying to 110 for 7 of 20 overs scored by St. Andrews. St. Patrick, they got there 112 for 4. 112 for 4. And the hallmark of this was a wonderful partnership between Dennis Smith and Devon Smith, with Dennis Smith not out on 37. Devon Smith made 41. He was caught Matthews with the bowling of Charles for 41. 47 deliveries, 58 minutes, 5 fours in the process. And it wasn't surprising at all, Justin Hector, that these two, the two Smiths, being the more experienced of the lot, practically brought the victory home for St. Patrick's.
Yes, and it's nice to see them. You expect that your most experienced players would put their hands up and produce in situations like that. And I think certainly with St. Patrick having only one victory previously, I think it certainly has now given them quite a chance, and you have now probably more pressure now on St. Mark, and so now to get in to them as that 14, because already St. Andrew and St. George and St. David are almost there already. Could safely say they're there already. So it will be a battle for the other 2 qualifiers. So one will have to be St. Mark, St. Patrick, and of course it will be St. David.
Interesting.
Fighting for that.
Yeah, and that's good, really. It's all good for the tournament. So the news is that St. Patrick's have defeated St. Andrews by 6 wickets. And let's just quickly go through a bit of the scorecard. We have the post-match presentation, an interview there by Kerry Frank. He's lining up to do that. But just to go through the details, and just to remind you, of course, that St. Andrews 110 for 7, 110 for 7 of their 20 overs. And in reply, well, St. Patrick, they lost a couple of wickets rather quickly. Athenaeus was bowled by Ned for 7, faced only 4 balls and hit a handsome 6, that was. Wavell Benjamin, no foot movement at all, was caught Matthew behind the wicket of the bowling of Sherman Lewis. He went without scoring. Devin Smith not out 37, 43 balls, 73 minutes, 3 fours in the process. Devon Smith also batted well, was caught Matthew of the bowling of Charles for 41, 47 deliveries, 58 minutes, 5 fours. And in the end, well, Denroy Charles, he was stumped Matthew of the bowling of Daniel MacDonald. Rather mysterious dismissal. He went for 4 balls, and just about 4 minutes at the crease. So in terms of the bowling, well, Lewis, that Sherman Lewis, 2 overs, 1 for 15, a bit expensive, but he did bowl rather quickly. Had 3 wides in the process. Darren Ned also had 3 wides, 2 overs, no maiden, none for 22, rather expensive. Daniel MacDonald, 3 overs, no maiden, 1 for 19. Rogers, 4 overs, did bowl out his 4 overs, no maidens, none for 19. Shaquem Charles, rather controversial bowler he was, but in the end got the wicket of Devon Smith, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 23. And Jensen Phillip had just a 1.5 overs for 11 runs. So the news is, again, that St. Patrick, chasing a victory target of 110 for 7 scored of their 20 overs that by St. Andrews. They replied with 112 for 4, 112 for 4. Dennis Smith got 37 and Devon Smith got 41, and a deserved victory for the players way up north.
Well, I'm still baffled as to why Sherman Lewis didn't come back and I think if St. Andrew had to lose the game, for me, he should bowl 4 overs. He can have 2 overs still in the shell, as simple as that may be. But I guess he would have measured things and thought it best to use especially the slower bowlers. But I think they really needed to get rid of one of the Smiths.
They got one, but
yes, but
a rather late dismissal it was. Yes. So it was an absolutely real pleasure. I thought that the St. Andrews team maybe were about 30 runs short.
Yes, they were. Yes, because we keep saying that maybe 130 would be a really good score to chase. The conditions is really good. They're really good in this type of condition. It's really, really good. Yeah.
So the players, just making their way off the field, and we're just waiting for the post-match interview. Man of the match, obviously, will be Dennis George. He's going to get his man of the match award. And so I think Kerry's going to be getting ready for the post-match interview. So it's now over to Kerry Frank.
Welcome to the post-match ceremony for the final match here on match day 5. St. Andrew versus St. Patrick. Victory to St. Patrick. Comprehensive victory over St. Andrew. We have with us here at the presentation ceremony the player of the match for today's match, Dennis Sawyer George, and with him is his captain for today's, Imon Alexander. We'll first have the presentation of the player of the match award, $100 cash prize and a trophy to Dennis George. We're just going to have a few words with Sawyer. I'm Dennis George, 5 for 10, and a victory for St. Patrick's. A good day overall.
Well, I'm very pleased with the victory once more. I think it was a very well job done. And say well played to Devon and Dennis, and hard luck to Athenaeus. I think it was a very good team effort.
All right, you guys win 2-2. One more game to go against St. John's. Should be looking forward to the next stage of the tournament.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, so once again, congratulations, Dennis, and all the best to the rest of the tournament.
Thanks.
We're now going to have a few words with the winning captain, Iman Alexander. Iman, comprehensive victory for you guys. Quite happy with the performance of the lads today.
Yeah, I'm happy. It's good to get a win under our belt. We're still alive in the competition, so we just have to continue from here.
All right, you would have done well with the ball. Dennis Sawyer, George 5 for 10. Certainly, he might be getting on there in age, but the guile and the experience coming to 4.
Yeah, well, the veterans still have it. I mean, they keep saying we are the veterans, so we have to prove a point here today.
All right, overall, pleased with the bowling effort. You know, the batsmen, they got off to St. Andrews, they got off to a relatively decent start, but restricting them for 110. Must be happy with the overall bowling effort.
Yeah, well, we knew we had the bowlers to pull it back. Dennis coming on bowl well, so we always know the bowling is our strength, so we always stand firm with it.
All right, and it's always a good sight to see Devon Smith in the green representing St. Patrick's.
Yeah, it's good to have him back. I mean, experience. You know, he always there and always boosts us to keep on going, so.
All right, so you guys have won 2-2. Final game against St. John's. Looking forward to that encounter?
Yeah, we have to keep on winning every game from here if we want to reach to the final, so we just have to keep on going.
All right, so want to wish you guys all the best. Congratulations to this victory and all the best to the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, so that's it from the presentation ceremony. We've had awards with the captain of St. Patrick's, Iman Alexander, and previously Dennis Sawyer George, player of the match, 5 for 10, first 5 wicket haul in the tournament. So that's it from the post-match ceremony.
Thank you very much, Kerry Frank there doing the post-match ceremony there with the winning captain, also the man of the match. So St. Patrick's 112 for 4 in reply to, of course, St. Andrews got 110. So all in all, it was an easy run-over victory here for St. Patrick. And Dennis Smith, a good total of 37. Devon Smith, a total of 41. But the man of the match, obviously, was that of Dennis George, who really picked up 5 for 10. It was an absolutely marvelous bowling display. We were very happy and pleased to bring you the live broadcast of these of the match here, these couple of games here, and this final one between St. Patrick and St. Andrews. St. Andrews winning by 6 wickets. So all the time we've got until our next match. See you then.
More jackpot money, more reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game.
Now you love Super 6 even more.
With more money
To the jackpot galore.
play more.
Win more. Have more fun. With more jackpot money.
Super 6 is my number one.
With the new and improved Super 6 game, the jackpot keep growing and growing.
I'm growing.
More jackpot money, more reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game. Super 6, bigger jackpots, more chances to win.
Holy natural spring water is a water for every occasion. On the field of sports, at your workplace, just open the bottle and savor the pure, refreshing taste. Holy natural spring water is produced in Mama Can St. Andrews and is available in all sizes nationwide. To order, telephone 444-7654 or 533-7654. Holy natural spring water, Grenada's purest bottled water.